welcome to Dwarves of Dharn, Moldir. This is session 5. We are moving right along.
Cinco.
Zoom. Okay, so you are in the tavern. You are speaking with Tunalara Galadnodel, who says that you may call her Lara for ease of pronunciation.
Well, Miss Croft.
I was just going to say Lady Laura.
Not Laura, Lara.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I said exactly what I wanted to say, thanks.
Well, you're a jerk, because it's not what her name is.
I know.
Anywho, so, she has informed you that the job is done and water supply has been restored to the Dwarven Keep.
That's certainly good to hear. What is it that you were requiring vis-a-vis your payment?
Well, before we get to talking about that, there's something that I think you should know. That was no accident. There were very clear signs of sabotage on the mountainside.
Well, that's what we were afraid of. I was meaning to ask you some questions along those lines. I just thought you might want the payment up front.
There's plenty of time for that later. What questions do you have?
Well, we received some information that it might have been orcs involved in this endeavor, and we found that out actually sort of after Jonas left to go find you. Otherwise, we would have sort of provided a little bit additional heads up.
Well, I appreciate that. As it was, I didn't find any orcs out there, but I had been tracking some that I believed were responsible for the destruction of the village. But like as not, it happened around the same time.
They seem to the thing that we got was translated, just overheard by someone who didn't speak Orcish, but neither do I. Filthy language.
Hey, fuck off.
This one speaks all of the lowest tongues. But
Right there, buddy. Right there.
It
Actually, man, I'm about a low tongue.
It dealt with this being sort of the beginning, as it was phrased in the snippet we had. So I was wondering if you noticed any sort of build-up or gathering forces.
Well,
Did you see any Death Stars?
So yes, because I want to steal one.
Well, that's
Milk.
Only tiny moons.
Oh.
That's no moon.
before Jonas found me, I had been tracking the orcs, but there was a small scouting party that intercepted us shortly after we found each other. By the way, how is Jonas? He wasn't looking quite so good when we parted ways.
Oh, I took care of that.
Oh.
He's dead now. I mean...
I am a cleric.
He was just
you
asleep.
see, so
I swear. Asleep forever.
tending to the wounded is no matter. As a matter of fact, he was doing so well, he beat the pants off of the local smith.
You should have been there. It was a grueling 8 hours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's quite the spectator sport, I always find. I could sit for days.
So at this point, those of you with any kind of decent passive perception, which is
Me.
Bellhead and Trunk, you will notice that the tavern is starting to sort of fill up. The evening crowd is slowly trickling in. And she says, "Well, as far as the matter of payment, what sort of gems do you possess?"
Well, I have a ruby, a sapphire, some emeralds.
Well, I find that standard gold does not appeal to me so much at this point, but I could be convinced to relieve you of your sapphire and one of your emeralds.
Oh, yes, that's no problem. Yes, we're specifically provided for contracting your services, so...
I mentioned to you that was specific for Master Kincaid.
Part of it
The gems
was,
were intended for him. The gold was intended for the minks.
but he's already accepted payment.
Right.
Don't worry about that. I'll do the accounting.
Now,
Young whippersnappers. Anyway, so I hand out...
money either.
she smirks when you say young whippersnappers. Just sort of amused by the whole thing.
It's cute that you're 200. It's just adorable. But, so I will hand 1 sapphire and 1 emerald, as she asked. That was what she asked, right?
That is what she asked for. She stows them in a pouch that is dangling from her, the equivalent of a belt. Now then, as to your possible orc problem, since I was tracking the filth anyway, I suppose that it would do no harm for me to continue looking for them, if you would like to have a piece of them.
Yeah,
Sweet, I get to punch something in the face.
not only that, but I don't know about the rest of the party is sort of dealing with the water was our only charge, but I'm sort of interested in finding out more about what the orcs are up to, so if you
let's
could
question them.
lead me to where you saw this party, and perhaps we could track them down together.
Well, see, the problem with that is that my usual way of tracking entails me having wings and looking down on things from above. And I mean, if you would be willing to stay in town for a little while, and if I can come up with any information, I'll be glad to bring it back for you. I'm certainly not going to attempt to go and raid an orc camp all on my own, but
Well, yeah, no worries on that
it would be rather difficult for the lot of you on foot to keep up with me.
Well, understandable,
I
but
had circles.
The door to the tavern slams open, and a man rushes in, looking pale and very winded. Sheriff! Is the sheriff in?
Troll!
Frog
catch your breath, man. Calm down.
Frog Mortonstock says, "Oh, Lamar, what is your problem?" That fucking guy's name.
I didn't prep calm emotion.
Councilman Amherst has been murdered.
We didn't let him know how.
We don't know the councilman.
Oh.
At this
Let's go
point,
see what happened.
there is now a...
Because I want
with
to punch
this-
something in the face.
With this man running in and just freaking out, he has been drawing a crowd steadily down the street in his pursuit of the sheriff.
Did you try the sheriff's department?
Of course I did, you daft dwarf!
Now I want to throw him.
Boom, silence.
Frog Mortonstock says, "Now, Lamar, you calm down just a little bit and tell us what happened."
Calm down or I'll
I
calm you
could-
down.
He says, "I can't tell you what happened. I've got to find the sheriff." Sorry, by the way. Nothing personal.
Yeah, you are.
And he runs back out the door
Might
again.
be shortly.
So, with him
Well, I mean, he's not wrong.
goes practically everybody from the tavern.
The monk commences.
I apologize for the interruption. They seem to have quite a turnaround in the city council. There's been some murders stacking up.
Well, I have enough drama going on, what with following the Orc Pack now. You say that you will be in town for a little while, and I can reconvene with you when I have more information.
I
For
suppose
the time
so.
being, I don't I don't much care for being in the village, so I will take my leave.
Can't say the architecture suits us either, but
Your women ain't bad.
Yeah.
She
not enough facial hair.
she makes sort of a deep
No
elvish
offense.
bow, even though she is a lady, and she strides out the door, and he's gone. Meanwhile,
That one certainly has
All
purpose.
right, let's go see what that crowd's up with.
Can we
Gotta
rewind a little bit?
investigate.
yeah,
Like to the very start.
okay.
Trunk. We'll grab Chaz kind of by the arm here and say, let's get a drink. Chaz.
Yay, booze.
Yeah.
I mean, humans will, but booze.
Okay, so you're drinking.
And then they have this conversation about what Jazz kind of figured out regarding Brodick.
Ah. Okay.
So that messenger we needed to send back to Dharn Moldir,
Yeah.
I've sent Brodick.
You sent Brodick
I sent Brodick
back to Dharn Moldir.
back to Dharn Moldir. With a message to the king, as well as to my guild.
Telling the king that we now run this human civilization.
We have conquered Wensleydale for the
Or we
greater
will try.
glory of Dharn Moldir.
No, with that message that we needed to get a messenger to the king. I don't remember exactly.
It was that
There was a bigger problem.
there was seemingly a larger problem than just the water. That it seemed to not be an accident.
And also he had a nice business proposition, so assuming you shut up, I don't see that you couldn't be cut in.
Shut up. About what?
He doesn't want
Nope.
you to tell Bellhead.
Like, start shutting up right now.
Oh.
Here's a great opportunity. Shut up.
Until no one else that I've sent Brodick.
Oh. What do I care that you took a human to do your bidding? Speaking of, did I tell you that I got laid by a human woman?
Damn it. Yes.
Oh, wait. I haven't told Bellhad. I need to tell Bellhad.
God damn it.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, okay? I gotta go tell Bellhad.
Let's bring
So,
some drinks back.
right at this point, considering that we rewound, is when Lamar busts in. My baby.
And the monk immediately commits the man's name to memory as a result of insulting Bellhead. Not because he cares necessarily for Bellhead, just as this guy's a racist fuck.
Yeah, no, I just kind of want to punch him or throw him.
Well, his name is Lamar.
I don't care.
So,
That is an interesting name for what I assume is probably a white man.
yeah. So,
Trunk,
Okay,
That
so
just
somehow that
happened.
just happened.
Trunk brings beers back to the table
Who's just surprised
okay.
as Lamar is leaving.
Lamar is leaving. Lara is leaving.
Trunk has beer.
Trunk has beer. What is the new plan of action, folks? What are we doing? What goes on?
Well, do you have any faith that these people can investigate their own trouble?
No, no, I don't.
Which I am saying in Dwarvish. Well,
I mean, they haven't yet. And they let Tommy Squarepants get away.
that is
Seriously.
true.
Who was like their only lead.
Even when they suspected him of actual murder. Of course, we also let Tommy Squarepants get away.
But we didn't know he was a murderer.
Fair
My
enough.
decision.
I'll
My
take
decision was
I'll
to
take
time
the
up a camp.
small victories.
He
Well-
also was no apparent threat to us,
Oh,
so there was no reason.
The Elven Lass
Sure there was, see?
is tracking down an orc pack for us, so I suppose, well, also we're waiting for the messenger that you sent to return with perhaps additional instructions from Dharn Moldir. I suppose we're spinning our wheels here in Wensleydale. We might as well save the town from a crazed murderer.
Yeah, we could do that.
We've already saved them from a terrible blacksmith.
True
We did do
enough.
that.
Let's drop the hammer of justice once more.
Don't.
Speaking of
Don't
dropping
do
the hammer, Father, have I got a tale for you?
Tales. I'm always glad to hear tales.
Trunk leaves.
Yep, I'm going outside.
So are you, the two of you that are leaving, are you following the crowd?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we're following the crowd too. I'm telling them a
You're
story.
talking and
Oh,
walking.
gotcha,
I gotcha. Okay.
I'm walking
gonna-
far in front of them.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm a little slow, so.
I'm gonna pick up the pace a bit.
Okay.
Get out of earshot of them.
So you don't have to hear the story for like a third time.
Yup.
Excuse me while I go poke out my mind's eye.
Sounds a little gaunt and bony for me.
Well, Father, if you could have been well, I mean, that would have been kind of weird. But if you could experience some of the tricks, but I'd probably get jealous. Well, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. You should try it. It's fairly reasonably priced.
I don't know that they have any women down there with quite enough facial hair for my liking.
Well, I wasn't looking for facial hair. I don't know. I was distracted by their delicious dresses.
This is none of
And
the proper
corsets.
values in this younger generation. Well, it's nice that you had a good time anyway.
Okay, so
Remind me to tell you about that ASMR woman. Oh, never mind.
Also, you should write that down so you can question him about it later.
Right.
so
That celestial.
as you are following the crowd, it's sort of two minds as to which way it wants to go. Certain parts of the crowd are following Lamar as he heads further toward the outskirts of town, he's still on the main street, but he's heading back in the direction that Aldrecott was. And you will recall that as soon as you entered the main street of Wensleydale, the first shop on the left was the blacksmith shop. Now, some of the crowd is following Lamar as he heads in that direction, still on the hunt for the sheriff. And probably 2/3 of the crowd is going the other way, toward the big house on the hill. One of the big houses on the hill.
I assume this group's probably looky-loos that know where the councilman lives. Lived. Should probably follow them.
Seems reasonable.
Okay, so you're following the majority?
Yes.
No, we don't need to find the
All
sheriff.
No, I'm not following.
All the while, I'm looking for my newfound girlfriend.
Oh dear.
I'm not
Well,
following. I'm
it is
taking
the
off in front
time-
of.
It is the time of day that she would probably be working, assuming that she didn't have to take a day off to recuperate from your
Well,
dwarvenly wiles.
one can only
Hey,
hope
hey,
that
Trump.
she can't walk.
Get to the house before the crowd.
Yes.
Get to the house before the crowd.
Let's do that.
Okay, so you're zooming?
Yep.
And leaving these two to talk
And we're bringing
about...
up the rear. Like, we're providing convoy security for the humans.
I'm moving as
The
fast
only
as I
difference
can.
is the front of the convoy just took the fuck off.
That's usually how that goes.
Ahead scouting.
From my experience, it's exactly how that goes.
Okay, so...
The rest of us get caught by a fucking traffic light.
Fucking trains. So, since we are splitting the party, I'm going to go with those of you who are in the front first. Since those of you in the back are not doing anything terribly interesting or exciting.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
That's fine, do your thing.
You're part of the group. Roll initiative.
He's gone back and is retelling the same story with even more, like, flavor text and color and just really sort of...
Gaunt detail.
Yeah.
Squishy.
I would point out that it's different this time. You realize that, right?
How?
Your story has changed somewhat.
Butt
Has
stuff.
it? Oh, speaking of, I was going to go back when we have a free opportunity, assuming we didn't leave soon. Because apparently they charge three coins for butt stuff. I'm not even sure what that is. But if it's anything like what I got before, it's totally worth it.
Oh, you'd have to ask Trunk about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're not there.
That's why.
That's why I have no idea.
In fact, you may actually be having trouble keeping up with Grognak.
Well, yeah, he is faster than I am, but
He is.
No, I'm just keeping pace with him.
Okay.
I'm still
Slow down
faster than
slightly.
the other two.
Yes, especially that one. So, you guys
Especially.
I
are
haven't pushed it to the firewall yet.
zipping ahead. The crowd of gossiping, chattering, some of them are, like, actually really kind of scared. But their, morbid curiosity is leading them to see if they can see what's left of, the councilman,
Disgusting humans.
right?
Animals.
So you are hearing little bits and snippets of conversations as you are, jetting past these humans. And you are hearing that this is the 5th council member out of 7 total that has been murdered in the last, 2 weeks and 3 days.
Just gone to an autocracy. There's no more council in the town.
So you're hearing that, some of them were stabbed. The last one, before this one, had been poisoned. One of them had had his throat cut. So there are only 2 council members left. And you will probably remember from your discussion with Sheriff Crayless that he is one of the 2 remaining council members.
Well, it's also why we can't find him. Oh, dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
sad face.
Because he's busy murdering the other one.
Also that.
So, on the road, leads up, into a hill, sort of a higher plane of elevation than the majority of the town, the main market street and, the residential district. There are very large houses. There is, the sort of palatial mansions that, you, Trunk, have pretty much never seen the like of, but it's something on a grand scale that you were sort of used to in Dharn Moldir, that you haven't really seen much since you've left. Things have tended to be much smaller and more rural in your very limited experience of the outside world and human civilizations. These places are not like this. They are grand to the point of being obscene.
Gross.
So, you are, you arrive in front of a house where the crowd is starting to coalesce. Nothing is immediately obvious, but, there are 2 servants, judging by their clothing, standing on the front porch trying to keep all of the looky-lures at bay until the sheriff has had a chance to come in. They're having trouble, to say the least.
I should hope so.
There's just the 2 of them on the front porch that you see, but there are people trying to climb in windows on the ground floor. You don't even know if there's a back door to this place.
Out of character. I think this is probably where we should make up some wild idea that the sheriff was going to use our abilities to be deputies.
As outsiders?
Mm-hmm. Because we may be able to gather information that he may not be able to.
I may or may not have already been working on that line.
Somebody's already carrying out a flat screen television.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Just watch out for a badger.
So I'm gonna go up to those 2 people standing out there and ask them if they'd like some assistance getting everyone to step back.
We would love as much assistance as you can give us.
Fire!
You there! Out of that window! And then you see the person who was, climbing in the window. He's got, one arm and then the other arm, and he's trying to kick the leg up to hoist himself up over the sill. You see him go tumbling backwards, and a maid inside with a broom going, "That'll teach you! Have some respect for my poor master!" And she slams the window closed.
On a stealth of 20, I would like to sneak in while Grognak is
Causes
talking
a
to
great, huge distraction.
right, is talking to the guys on the porch.
Alright, now they're going to have... they're going to have advantage on spotting you, because number one, there are two of them. He was talking to one specifically. And number two, they are specifically looking to keep people out.
Right.
Well, then shouldn't only one of them have advantage?
Well,
He's talking to one of them.
yes.
Yeah, the other one should have advantage.
So one of them has advantage, one of them has regular. Possibly.
Unless you walk between him and Matt.
They both see you.
Okay.
They both see
What are
you.
you doing?
But since Grognak
I'm still going in.
is offering to help, they're like,
Let him go in. He's gonna get rid of the other people.
he's
Trust
with
me.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, who are you, by the way?
CSI Dharn Moldir.
Also that.
That should be the nameplate on this episode.
I agree, actually.
Nice.
Intro music and all from the hood. That's how we sell this.
So, at this point, a new, seeing someone has gotten in the doors, a new, rush and a push at the front entrance starts to move in, and the two butlers are, trying to be stern, but one of them is just a little old man.
I'm gonna turn around and yell for everybody to back up and spend the key point for the flaming snakes.
Now, where are the flaming snakes coming from?
I
They're coming
look-
from your fingertips and,
Or stuff.
your feet?
Yeah, my hands and feet.
Okay,
He is
roll me...
a horror. An abomination.
He is the scariest dwarf they've ever seen.
Roll me an intimidation check with,
Advantage?
Yeah. Thank you! Jesus fucking Christ!
That word.
You should get your own character sheet.
You should shut it. And I was a geek.
Damn, I have no bonus on
Mwah.
that. The 8 wins.
Okay.
That's scrappy.
And you have no modifier whatsoever?
Not on intimidation. Nope.
Okay. So, a couple people...
Crappy charisma.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a...
The monk isn't charismatic? Tell me it ain't so.
Right? So, a couple of people in the crowd are like, what just happened? And the rest of them are like, that was really cool, and then just keep pushing past.
And that's when I smack them.
Papa!
Snakes, just smack them all.
Well, I'm inside. Can I close the door on all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I do that.
Hey, boards and shut.
Now,
Sorry,
once-
Grognak.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry, I got other ways in.
So,
You should have just started a dance party.
What,
The-
does
they
the
are
disco
like
ball
disco
didn't-
ball.
they are like
This is just-
sheep.
Man, that's what you gotta do.
So,
They are like sheep, which means they'll all catch on fire.
gadzooks are sheep flammable.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
but
need to look into that. I mean, that's terrible, but
Sheriff Crayless.
Dharn Crayless.
Thank you.
We're gonna stick with Grognak for a moment. So you're assaulting people. Roll me an attack with your snakes, I guess.
roll me an assault check.
Now I'm assuming that you're basically just sort of doing a
Yeah.
and
yeah.
just collectively
Yeah.
smacking through. Okay, there are
Nice.
5 people directly in front of you, so you can roll me one attack and see if you. Do you need new dice? What is your deal?
I don't
over
like
here?
I don't like that die anymore. Screw you. No more Spider-Man dice. You're done.
So what was your roll?
5.
A 5.
Oh wait, hang on. 8.
All right. So you have just whiffed these fire snakes, in front of their face. And that causes them to pause a little bit.
It's kind of my intention. I didn't really want to kill anybody.
And the two butlers are now, like, shoulder to shoulder right in front of the door jamb. And they're a little bit taken aback by this whole thing. Like, they appreciate your help, but,
how
what
close
the fuck
are
are
they
you doing?
standing to me?
You are up on the porch right now. The porch is 6 feet, like, deep.
No, how close are they to me?
They are approximately 5 feet behind you.
They who?
No,
The butler.
group.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you realize I have 15 feet reach with that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how you managed to
they're
miss.
10 feet long.
I don't know how you managed to miss with a 15-foot reach,
Apparently it's like
but you
30 yards
did.
between you and them. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, some of them, like, around the edges none of them are coming at you directly. Obviously, they're, like, trying to get around you, just because you're a barrier. Not that they see you as a threat, you're just in the way. So some of them are, like, trying to go up the steps around you, and
Start throwing people.
so that's, like, I don't know how you managed to miss, but you did. But the two butlers are, shoulder to shoulder in the door frame, trying to keep off anybody who's getting past you. Grogneck. You're Grogneck. Trunk.
Yeah.
You are inside a large foyer area. It has a tiled floor, stupidly high ceiling, big chandelier just dripping with glass baubles, and it's very interesting in there. Now, there is a maid who is holding a broom, but she's also weeping. And she says, "Who are you? You're not supposed to be in here until the sheriff has had a chance to be."
There's just that dustpan line, and you can never get rid of it, and she's finally had enough.
The trick to that is to sweep it off a stair.
The sheriff sent me. Calm down.
Okay.
Trunk locks the door. Calm down.
But
This is happening.
Where's the body?
in the study.
Where's the study?
Follow me.
Follow I do.
She asks if the two out on the porch are okay.
We'll know when we open the door again.
Oh, okay.
We will save that investigation for a later time.
So, she leads you
Once their corpses
down
have
the
cooled
main
somewhere.
hall.
Just ignore their screaming.
So, looking at the foyer, there is, like off to one side, there's a really just huge library that doesn't even really have any, like, serious door to close it. It's just kind of, it's like a 10-foot wide archway, and you walk in and you're in the library. So you're able to see there are books in there. It's obviously a library. To the right of straight ahead is a huge, like, 15-foot wide staircase that goes up. And she's leading you down a very wide hallway to the left of the staircase. And so you get past the library and past another door which is closed, and then into the third door. You open, the door is open and you look inside. There is a desk with sheaves of paperwork just laying all over the place, and there is a chair in which is a clearly dead human man, approximate age mid-50s. He's got a stack of paperwork in front of him, on which has been spilled some sort of beverage. You're assuming it's probably tea, and he has got this sort of yellow froth that has oozed up out of his mouth and is, like, dribbling down his chin, and he is just sitting, like, slumped over in his chair, eyes wide.
Just give it a little.
Yeah, let's investigate that tea on a 22.
22 investigation check. You're noticing that it's actually starting to eat through the paper that it had spilled on.
So more acid than tea.
Perhaps.
That which you do not smell is battery acid.
Well, move the papers that are already wet.
Okay.
And then try to read what I can on them before they're gone.
It's basically just paperwork about the taxing information on the village, and there's a bill to try and get like a new schoolhouse built, and it's basically just general council person paperwork. Now you would probably assume, or maybe you wouldn't because you don't really have any history in any kind of politics, but it seems as though there's an awful lot of paperwork on this one guy's desk of like varying types. Like there are building permits, there are grievances between neighbors, there's just a lot of stuff that like you would really feel like this is a lot of work for one person. But there used to be more of them. And so the workload has been put on everybody that was still alive. So he had been trying to catch up on all of this paperwork when he was seemingly poisoned.
Who brought him this tea? He asks the maid.
I don't know. I was cleaning the upstairs bedrooms.
Who?
Probably one of the butlers.
Have either of them fallen into hardship recently?
No. The master took very good care of us.
Is there anyone new on the staff?
Not that I've seen.
Not that you've seen.
Well, I mean...
And what is it that you do?
Okay, so, by this time, Belhad and Jazruli, you have arrived.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not that slow.
No, you're not that slow. We've sort of... He probably had only just gotten in the house and was being shown into the study when you guys arrive.
I had to push the father back as fire snakes go by. What the hell?
So...
Sort of a mob scene still.
Yeah,
Give me a hand with the crowd.
they're sort of like... They're abated a little bit because it's like...
Get out.
Now there's more than just one sort of elderly, spindly butler and one slightly younger and more able-bodied butler trying to keep them from getting in, and all of the windows on the ground floor have finally been shut, so they're not able to start climbing in windows and things. Mm-hmm. Still nobody knows anything about a back door, if there is one or if there isn't.
The elusive black back door.
But,
I'm going to push my way to the front of the crowd, like, and to get up on the porch where he is.
I follow suit.
You notice that he has snakes made of fire protruding from his fingertips and his toes. And he is using them like whips to try and keep the crowd at bay.
Like a jellyfish, like a big jellyfish.
But most of the crowd is like almost possessed by their need to be nosy and disrespectful, that they're actually like starting to try and sneak in between the snakes because they're not really afraid.
Okay.
Also because they're dumb.
So, I am going to take several actions in quick succession.
Okay.
I am going to use Thaumaturgy 3 times. Each casting time is an action, but I can carry over the effects. I can have they're 1-minute effects, so I can carry them over up to 3 at a time.
Okay.
So for my first thing, I'm going to create a clap of thunder. Just out of nowhere, basically.
So some people in the crowd start looking up to see if it's about to rain.
And I am going to use Thaumaturgy on my voice to create it 3 times as loud. And I'm going to raise my hammer up and say, by the authority of Sheriff Arn Crayless and the Kingdom of Dharn, Moldir, and Moradin, I command that you stop here! And I'm going to use my third to create tremors in the ground.
Okay.
So now we need Reba McEntire, Kevin Bacon. No one?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Reba?
She's totally a part of that.
Burt Gummer shows up.
Yep.
She's through schools.
All right, let me see what you got on your thing.
That's what I'm doing. And unfortunately, intimidation is based on charisma.
Yeah, I know. Bullshit.
All right.
Sometimes it isn't, guys. Sometimes it isn't.
Common sense
All right.
dictates it more often than not. It isn't.
Sometimes it's based on the fact you just punched that guy.
Right. Or that you can.
So go ahead and roll me an intimidation at advantage.
Triple advantage.
Yeah, it was almost an 18.
Was.
That's
That's
a 19.
better.
That's better.
Okay. Let's see if these people...
With a 0 mod.
Huzzah!
They had disadvantage to, what's the thing? I think it's like sense motive or something. No, it's an insight check. And both of them were 3s. So when the ground
Shit themselves.
starts to shake, some of them drop to their knees, and like some of the ones out on the fringes of the crowd, they're like, you know what? I didn't want to see the dead body that bad anyway, and they just take off.
They start praying to their puny human gods.
I start giggling.
Jezgruli, what are you up to?
I'm just standing there
In awe of the
watching
father.
watching all of this and just dumb humans.
So
You make fun lasses, but the rest of you are...
So you now have a little bit more respect for Belhad than you might have done a minute ago. Grognek, you now might have a little bit more respect for Belhad than you did a moment ago.
Still old.
He's still old, but
I
he
know.
succeeded where you failed.
I still have the same level of respect.
Okay.
There's like apparently a thunderstorm outside and an old man is yelling.
So, sorry.
Mobs, you gotta get to him quick and
So
hard.
people have now, they have assumed a sort of watchful stance at a respectful distance from the porch. And they're just
behind the police
sort
state.
of, right? They're all just sort of waiting and watching, and you hear people shouting from further off that the sheriff is coming.
Good. Now shut the fuck up.
The sheriff is near!
Silence.
The sheriff
really-
is in...
Somehow I'm gonna figure out, even though I'm not a caster, Jazgruli's gonna figure out how to make people go to sleep.
Alright, so...
It's the thing I'm going to put.
Chokehold, bro.
Well, no, that's a different kind of sleep. I'm talking like from a distance, like I just point at him. Well, that's what I'm looking for.
You need a bow
I need
and a really blunt arrow.
An instant narcolepsy spell. That's what I need.
You need a bow and a really blunt arrow.
People say things and just point and... That's what I'm looking for.
Alright, so the three of you are out on the porch with the two butlers. What are you doing?
Where's
Going around the building.
where's
Now
Trump?
the crowd's controlled.
I am telling the butlers about my experience with the whore.
Wow. Really?
Speaking of hard and fast,
So,
I wrecked one of y'all's females. That was a fun time. Y'all ever do that before?
in my younger days, I had a lass named Tallulah.
Tallulah, wow. that would be
Tallulah.
difficult for
She had thighs like I can't even explain.
Like a truck?
like thighs.
Oh,
Thighs so thick she kicks mules for a living.
Thighs like your leg.
y'all. Wait a minute.
Tallulah.
He has my undivided attention. I'm very seriously interested.
The other butler is like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That's my wife. Tallulah. A phony name if I ever heard one.
Tallulah Bankhead Groucho. So,
Bankhead Groucho.
while he's telling you about her just thighs like an ox, the other guy is just
Getting a little bit of
vaguely
I'm just thinking about this one.
vaguely disgusted,
A tiefling.
and finally says,
I'd kill that.
"Dad,
There's no way.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about you and Mum." And the old man looks at the younger man and says, "How do you think you got here?" So yeah, he
So
goes.
there it was, plowing her mother in the sheep stall. I mean,
Might have been the doghouse.
So yeah,
wow, wow, wow.
that's what's happening on the front porch.
Yeah.
Bellhad, there
I
is
make friends everywhere.
there
I
is a
go.
conversation going on behind you that would curl your ear hair.
No, I made that tiefling comment. Thighs like an legs like an ox, like hooved at the bottom.
No. It's not.
Look, she's counting.
So what are you doing?
I am.
You're just
Morally
like,
disgusted.
you're at the top of the stairs.
Yeah,
and you're...
I'm at the top of the stairs and I'm at the top of my game. I'm going to step down and use the pick end of my hammer to draw a circle out from the porch
Okay.
in the dirt.
All right. You are
This far.
You are gouging up some of the grass, but you will assume that Councilman Amherst probably won't care because he dead.
Oh, he did.
Now,
Do you
Grogneck,
scratch police
you
line
made
now?
some mention about going around to
Yeah, I'm
the
not gonna
back.
look for any other doors.
Okay. As you get to the rear of the property, you notice that there is
I will ask him before he leaves. Where's Trunk? Where's
Yeah,
You
we
can
don't know.
also...
We don't know where he went.
Inside, and
He's...
Oh.
the butler, the younger butler, who is trying his very best to tune out
Hold down his lunch.
this conversation that is happening over here in his periphery, says, well, he said that that you lot were working with the sheriff, and so we let him in. Should we not have done that?
All you see at this point is me gesturing from a distance.
and the
Just-
old man
and the old guy
who
looks
is
like,
listening to Jazz's thoroughly reprehensible story, but is enjoying it, like, you know, oh, back in my younger days. He looks over and says, "Of course we should. They're dwarves, very trustworthy, right?" And looks at you, right? You're trustworthy.
He's right, you know.
I love
And then
this guy.
he goes back to listening to your story.
delightful story.
And he asked specifically what the name of the girl was.
And I tell him it is Sasha.
And he goes, "Oh,
My
Sasha.
daughter.
I've not been with her before, but I've seen her."
Well, I believe she's probably not working today.
Well, I'm probably not going to be able to get over there tonight, what with all of the...
Shenanigans and
Goings
goings on.
Well,
No.
I tell you what, this has obviously been very difficult, and obviously high stress, and that's unfortunate. I dig into my pouch, and I pull out 3 gold, and I put 3 gold in his hand, for when you do have the opportunity.
Butt stuff.
Oh, I've got enough for the butt stuff. Look, Benjamin, I've got enough for the butt stuff.
So worth it. Just embarrass the fuck out of his son.
And then the kid finally loses it.
Starts barfing off the porch projectile.
I'm so glad I'm down there carving into the yard.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
You better do better, otherwise you'll get killed too.
You're running out of d20s at this point.
Every once in a while I'm carving into the yard, I'm doing this.
Ha! Alright, I'll accept
You
that.
have found there is a back porch. It is much smaller and less grandiose than the front porch. Doesn't have much of a view. Whereas, like, from the front porch, you didn't Well, you did, actually, because you were doing the snake thing. You noticed that, like, the front porch, the path leads down the hill, and from the front, you can see practically the entire town. From the back, you don't really see very much. It is, and, like, the whole back of the house just doesn't look as nice as the front of the house. It's very clear that the front of the house is a facade that is meant to convey the impression of wealth to the lower classes. But
I hate a disappointing back porch.
so there's, just a sort of rickety wooden porch. It doesn't have the railing on it, and it's just got some wooden steps going up. There's like a washboard in the backyard. But
It's
you
a servant's
find
entrance. I mean,
at the base of the house itself, along the wall, there is a cellar door, sort of obscured by some tall flowers and things, just to make it not look quite so awful.
Clematis.
So there's a cellar door, and with your perception, you hear something coming from that direction.
Well, I gotta go investigate. Yep.
The question
What the
is,
hell's over there?
do you have to investigate by yourself?
Well, no, I suppose I could yell. But that would take time.
Yep, that would be a free action.
While
what
I'm
he means is it would
investigating.
take time for you to get around
That's
there.
definitely true.
And you're also guarding the front
which
door.
would also be
Yeah, but
free action.
he's Johnny Punch people. Like, I might be stuck on the porch until the sheriff actually shows
I mean,
up.
I'll yell, but it's still gonna take you like a round to get around there, so...
Get
So-
round.
Are you yelling, and what are you yelling if you are? I get around.
We really need to start like our own little quartet. Like, this should be a thing.
I want to
Get a
sing the
surprise
bass.
round.
I want to sing the bass.
So I get a surprise round.
Why?
That's the remake of it.
So I'm gonna yell,
Dagger.
let's see here. Hey, Jazz, come back here. I think there's someone back here.
But, enjoy that. I gotta go. Have a nice day. And I run away. So,
What's your movement?
enough.
Enough.
Bellhead just stays in the front of the house and goes, "Everyone always leaves me."
I love you too, Father.
Oh,
20 feet.
20 feet. Okay, so it takes you about 12 seconds to make it around to the back of the house.
How big's this goddamn house?
It's big. It's
I
big.
mean, I know I'm not.
It doesn't
I know I'm moving
actually,
a
like,
little slower than a
you
human,
don't
but
know it,
jeez.
but Trunk can tell you there aren't actually very many rooms. It's just that everything is on a ridiculously huge scale. So,
Barn.
you get around to the back of the house, and you find Grogneck looking
animals
at
here can
what,
talk.
from your perspective, looks like a small bunch of flowers that are sort of growing up.
Right.
You have been joined by Jazz Gruley.
I'm very confused. What were you yelling about?
There's a door over there.
I see flowers.
Yeah, come over here. You can't see. You
Oh.
gotta walk around the flowers.
Oh, there is something over there.
Yep.
It's
So
a
with
secret
your-
garden.
With your new perspective, you notice that there is, in fact, a, like, small door set at an angle to the foundation that is leading... There are stairs leading downward. The door is ajar.
I look at you and say, humans build their shit
Weird shit.
really odd. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Anyways, let's go investigate crap.
We would have put
I
a
Also-
swing the door open so hard I almost rip it off the hinges.
Also, did you go the same way around the house that he did?
I have no idea which way he went, but I went off the porch and ran around the right side of the house.
Okay, so if you were standing looking at the house...
I went to that side and around. I don't know which direction he went. I
Which
was
direction
not
did
at all
you go?
paying attention.
Looking at the house, I was gonna go right, so, the right side around.
So you're looking at the house and you went right, and you're looking at the house and you went right.
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I was going right. I don't know which way you went.
I had already decided I was just going right before, so we both went right.
Well, in order for me to go left, I'd have had to push past the kid, the younger butler, and then push past the father, because I assumed you started at this end, because normal people work from left to right. So I'm assuming that you started at this end, drawing your line in the sand or the ground and what have you. So it was less
Made sense?
water flowy business.
Makes sense to me. Okay.
It's more feng shui to go that direction.
So,
It's completely unapplicable.
you have found this stairwell, open door, leading downward. At the base of the steps, which only go down, maybe 10 feet, enough that you would expect a human person to be able to stand up once they got in, there's another door, which is also ajar.
Rip that open too.
Okay. As soon as you open the door at the bottom, you are faced with what looks to be like a huge coal-burning, like, potbelly stove. And off to one side is a huge bin of coal. Now, it's not burning right now because it's summertime.
Is it impeding our entrance into that zone?
No.
Okay.
And across the way is a stairwell leading upstairs, upon which is a human person who looks very surprised. He's halfway up the stairs, but has turned at the sound of the door being kicked open.
Technically, he's taken aback.
No, he is surprised. They are taken aback.
I haven't taken anything back.
I'm gonna go tackle him.
He's on the stairs.
I
I
sidestepped.
don't care about on the
I
stairs.
sidestepped just as I watch him missile into the guy.
Just get him by the feet.
So, I don't know how
Walk him
many
and cut
of
his
you
Achilles tendon.
this is going to make any sense to, but I know you don't. I don't know if you have, and I don't know if you have, but I'm picturing the basement at my mom's house.
Yeah.
You probably haven't seen the basement at my
So
mom's.
the thing you entered,
Yeah.
like the stairs, is pretty much straight line.
Straight, but a little bit off to the right, there's a stove over here, and then there's coal over here. And if you actually bother to look at it, you will notice that there's a little bit of daylight coming through a hole above the coal bin that you will assume is a coal chute. that
It's
they
the
use
chute.
for shoving coal down in the hole with.
You painted a very direct picture, but to be honest, I don't think, I thought we kind of moved past that.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope, we're
So,
back to it. So anyway, the
this-
coal is really black.
So,
Very
Super
dirty.
black, yeah.
The,
It's very hard, high quality anthracite versus the lower, softer, more volatile component bitumen coal. So
yeah. The
Not to be
stairs
confused with
are
fool's
wooden
coal.
and appear to be somewhat rickety. The basement just looks like it's a place that's used for storing stuff and for, the heating system. So this guy's standing on the stairs. He's got one foot on one step and 1 foot on another step, and he's twisted looking at you. As you are zooming in on him with your, forward momentum, his eyes get real wide. And he starts trying to run up the stairs to keep from being tackled.
because
Well,
that's
he's
gonna
not gonna
work.
make it very far.
Well, what is your, ridiculous movement speed?
It depends.
How fast are you moving?
Well, that's only 35, but my sprints. What's a sprint?
I thought it was 4 times.
Four
Yeah.
times. So,
Okay. So, as he sees you running at him, he turns, and he's only got 3 more steps to get to the top. He doesn't make it. He's got
Face plants
He's
right
got
in the door.
he's got 1 foot on the top step that is not the landing, but the top actual step, and 1 foot on the step, 2 steps below that, because now he's skipping steps on his way up, and he still doesn't make it.
the lesson
when
is
you-
never look back.
When you
There's never any
tag
information
him
you're
from
gonna get that's gonna help
behind,
you.
you just take him out, and both of you go crashing into the wall that is on the landing, because the door is off to one side.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to roll me
Door, it's a
an
giant.
overrun. Is it an overrun?
I don't think overrun actually exists.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
I think it's just run, sprint, dash.
But it's it's an
Yeah, there
attack.
are,
I just don't
like,
know how
yeah.
to do.
I think the combat maneuvers are done with strength and acrobatics or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure. Roll me a.
It'll be in the thing if you.
Yeah, I don't.
It would be to get a hold of him. Would just be
That's
like
grapple.
a melee attack. Yeah, it starts with a melee attack, and if you can hit him with your hands, you can grab him with your hands.
If you can grapple.
Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can grapple.
If you could turn back time.
If I could find a way.
Yeah, and roll that again.
Yeah, you are at advantage for attacking him because he's in like a narrow chute, and unless you dive
Yeah.
off the stairwell,
That's when
you
the
can't
advantage
help
kicks in.
but hit him.
Yeah, I think 21 wins.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
did that
does.
same thing
Um,
pretty much.
So roll me some damage.
It's just a little cannonball. Just
What do you want me to
Full
roll for
blade.
damage here? Because I'm not actually punching him. I'm just tackling him.
It would be.
A couple broken ribs.
What
from
is
him.
your basic melee? Like your
unarmed.
unarmed attack. Like I know that yours is probably high, but that's okay because you're tackling a guy on a
mine's
staircase.
D6.
A D6. Okay, go ahead and roll
Like a
me
D6.
a D6. Is there any kind of modifier to that?
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Strength bonus.
Go ahead and roll me a D6 plus 6. So you're going to double your strength bonus.
Technically, I think he's dead.
8.
No, he's not dead. He's really unhappy. The guy that you've tackled, he's not moving. He's
Is he
laying.
moaning?
No.
In a non-sexual manner.
Oh, he did.
He's not really doing much of anything.
breathing.
He is breathing,
Right, he's still alive.
but his breathing is very ragged and shallow. And he's a little squishy underneath you in a way that you don't think skeletons should be.
But he's not a skeleton.
Well, like, he has one,
Had.
and
Wishy.
yeah. Feels squishy. Is it supposed to feel squishy?
You're like the poor man's osteomancer.
Nope, the bone here on me. Squishy there on him.
Okay, so, guy laying in the stairwell. That's the thing that just happened, Jazz Gruely.
Pretty much seen that coming.
Yep.
Maybe in
So
not
did the other guy.
gross-
That's why he
gross
started
detail,
booking it up
but,
the stairs.
So I walk up, and I assume you're still laying on him, of course, yes?
Yes,
This
he
just
seems to
immediately
be.
happened?
He seems to be laying on him and poking him
Oh,
in
delightful.
places where it should be bony and isn't.
So I walk over and I shake the guy's leg in hopes to elicit some verbal response.
I think I might have broke that one.
He should be-
Which leg do you go for?
His left leg, the leg that is furthest extended down the stairwell toward me.
Okay, so that's not the broken one.
But I should something like it. I'm shaking it, so even if it's connected to a hip that hurts, it should. There should be some verbal communication. Even if it's,
The leg bone's connected to the...
fuck bone. I don't. Damn it.
Hey, Sanka. You dead, man?
Yeah, man.
So I shake his leg. Does he say anything? Can I hear that down there?
You can hear that. I don't know if he can hear that.
Is he making any noise? Is he alive?
He moaned a little bit.
So, Grogneck, you're laying on top of a guy on a landing at the top of a flight of stairs. To your immediate right is a door, which is closed.
Who doesn't put the door at the top of the landing?
Telling you, this is my mother's basement, and that's where the door is.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Stupid humans.
I know, they built... Never mind. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Why would you build things like that?
So I'm gonna stand up and open the door, because I'm pretty sure that guy's not moving.
The door is locked.
I have an idea.
Well, I
You
could
could
violently
use-
unlock the door.
You could use a fly swatter to get in like I did when I was locked out.
I don't think I have a fly swatter.
Check his persons for keys.
Boy, that would have been a funny moment. As he got to the top of the stairs before you got to him and then started going through the janitor's key ring.
Slam! Boom! to me.
Okay, let's see here. We have this one, and then there's this one. Oh, and then there's this one. Dag. We never lock the door. So, the door is locked. It does not open when you jiggle a handle.
No, you have to turn the human handles.
I'm pretty sure I'm turning it.
Oh, sounded like jiggling down here. I'm sorry. Check the man for keys.
They're all set
You're
up so you
standing
can't
right
get
there.
out of the house if your hands are horribly burned.
It's so true. Put a lever in like a normal door, fuckers. Have you checked him for keys?
No, you check his pockets. I don't want to check his pockets.
I
I
can
broke
barely
him.
I can barely...
Last time I touched him, I broke him.
I don't want to break them anymore.
Valid point. Valid point. So I walk over and I fucking rummage through his pockets.
Christ! Do you feel better?
Yeah, I'm good.
You right there, Sparky?
So you're going through his pockets.
Yes. Do I find any keys?
You find a key.
Does it look like a key?
I mean,
No.
No, it looks like a banana.
Does the key look like a key?
yes, it looks like a key.
Alright. I think I found the key. Try this.
Alright, I'll try the key.
It doesn't work.
Are you
Key's
putting it?
broken.
Are there different holes? I mean,
Did it look like
I
a
can't
lock?
see what you can see.
I can make a new hole.
Yeah, just do that. Break open the door.
Do you give the guy his key back?
No.
Like he's unconscious
Just
right
a
now.
little bit of
He's just
subtle
not gonna-
investigation.
You might get it
turns
back
into
later.
Wanton property
Hold on to
destruction.
it for now.
Okay.
This is an active crime scene with a police investigation.
This is a new crime scene.
No, it's all part of the original crime
This is
scene.
an extra crime scene.
We caught a potential suspect trying to flee the scene. And he shot first.
And broke this door.
Yeah, first
He
was
totally
word.
broke
Broke this door and stole those things that you're going to wind up finding that aren't here.
Finding missing.
Yes.
I always thought that was an odd turn of phrase.
Right.
I found this thing was missing. Like,
Wait, what? It was missing and then you found it, you mean?
no, it was.
It
You
was missing.
discovered the fact that
And
it was missing.
Right, but it's a really weird way to say it.
Yeah.
Does not compute. BAM!
It always worries me when he starts reading the player's handbook.
A crude shape I designate. Does that mean I can designate it to make the lock turn?
What
I
is a crude shape?
really need you to read me more of the description than that.
Can cause earth, fire, water, or mist that can fit within a 1-foot cube to shape itself into a crude form you designate for 1 minute.
You could. It was earth, air.
Basically, I would take a lump, the huge chunk of stone and shape it.
Okay.
Or a piece
A
of
cubic foot of stone. Yeah, or a piece of the coal. That's
You-
earth, too.
Crude is the key word.
You could shape it into something that looked like a key, but you don't know what the lock looks like on the inside.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make it fill it and break it. Then I have a way to break it.
Just don't kick the fucking door open. Jesus.
I don't want to break the door open.
This guy-
You're going
This
to
guy is
completely
filling
and
holes.
irreparably break the lock, but you don't want to kick the door in.
No, I wanted the door to stay
So
intact.
now I am jamming my large shelf next to your large shelf
Yikes.
and I'm
While,
attempting to
like,
kick the door open.
A
at this
straddle the body on the landing?
point. Probably standing somewhat on him.
Just nudge it down the stairs.
I mean, he's already squishy. You're
Just
not
grab
gonna.
him by the arm and just drag him down the stairs.
You get
It's his
go.
head.
Down the stairs. Go. Go.
So I'm actively trying to kick it because he's standing in my way. So I'm like getting like a foot around trying to kick the fucking door open.
Okay, roll an attack. At a disadvantage because you're
One of
in
these days
uneven.
I'm waiting for Trunk to be the guy sneaking around that we don't realize, and you have to cannonball Trunk.
Again.
Again.
Like, shit, I know what's happening.
Shit, this happened before.
He just gives up his money automatically, even though this time it is actually his own money.
Just take it.
So what was I rolling now?
An unarmed attack. At a disadvantage. Because of your uneven footing.
I don't have an unarmed attack.
It's just a regular melee.
Yeah, it's a melee
Oh.
attack.
Well, this it's still wrong. It doesn't have anything on it. So
It-
that was a 16.
It's
That's a
just
13,
your
so
strength.
13.
Your strength
It
plus
would
your
be-
proficiency bonus.
Yeah.
It's not actually wrong. It's just
It's wrong.
What's your strength mod?
3.
Okay, so it's basically a 16 regardless. So yeah, you
it's kind
successfully hit the door with your foot. So roll me some damage.
But what do I roll for damage? 'Cause it doesn't
Yours was a D6 plus your
Yeah, the yours is a 4.
of yeah.
yeah. His would be a 4 then. So it'd be a D4 plus your strength.
D4 plus 3. Get out of there, you
And,
stupid
and
bastard.
unarmed, you only have the choice of doing non-lethal,
4 damage to the door.
whereas the monk can.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Pick and
no,
choose.
it's 7 damage. I rolled a 4 and plus 3. 7.
Okay, so you assault the door. Max damage, by the way.
Yeah.
You kick the door in just such a way that, like, your big dwarven boot is just to the side of, like, the doorknob and where the lock mechanism is, and it just splinters the door jamb on the other side. So,
There's no signs of forced entry.
the door swings open, bounces off a wall, and starts to swing back again. But you have now gained access to the main level of the house.
See, now, if this had been dwarven built, I never would have been able to kick that in.
But it isn't. So
So
you
it-
were.
Bounce right off of it. Wind up
Broke-
falling down
Fall
the
down the
stairs.
stairs.
I would have broke my own shit.
And I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Okay.
How is there dog hair in my box?
Because my house is full of dog hair. I
That
have
is the-
dogs that are made of nothing but hair and they explode.
Because you were over at my house and that's Suki hair.
It is the
No,
advantage.
not
of-
I've never had this box at your house, ever.
Really? Sunday?
I have my black box I take on that. This is a dwarven box.
the one for witchcraft.
Yeah, the witchcraft box. Long story, ladies and gentlemen, you're not missing out here.
So, you have gained access to the main level of the house. In the room that you now can see, you see various bits of, like, laundry apparatus. So, like, there was a washboard outside, there's another washboard in here, there's, like, a big basin that would hold soapy water, there's one of those wringer things that you put it through.
I immediately just start yelling Trunk's name.
Go get the old guy.
God damn it.
Trunk!
Your passive perception is a 16. You think that you're hearing things.
It's entirely like
You hear
It's
like
your conscience.
some very vague thing that might be your name, but you don't know where it's coming from, so
Go
you're
get the
not
old guy.
paying attention to it, I guess.
Miss, go check on that.
She didn't hear it.
There's a noise coming from somewhere in the house.
There may be a murderer loose.
Yeah.
Please
Go look into that. Yeah.
Investigate for me.
Lead with your neck.
Put your hands in front of you and walk very slowly and announce that I am coming. Who the fuck does that?
So she is super confused because she can't hear anything, but she, like, thinks that you're trying to get rid of her.
Well, I mean,
Also,
aren't
yes.
you?
Well, I mean, they're both true.
She's not entirely wrong. I mean, I think
Listen,
we can all
woman,
agree on
with your ears, listen.
I am listening, sir. I can't.
Listen.
that. Quit sobbing so you can hear.
Actually listen.
Are you yelling continually, or did you just yell the one time?
I yelled, listened, heard no response, now I'm yelling as loud as I fucking can.
You need thaumaturgy.
I know.
You need to go find the old guy.
Apparently, all I'm doing is going, Trunk,
Trunk, honey.
Trunk.
It's a really big house.
Meanwhile, if you're in the next room, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. Someone is really pissed about not finding a chest, for Christ's sake.
Look, if you're nervous, he hands her his short sword. You can take this.
She grabs it, clunk.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Now go by yourself and walk out
She's
there.
got the thing, and you can tell that she really just doesn't know what to do with it because she's just holding it straight out at arm's length.
It's very good. No.
Good for her.
Ta-da!
Be a good deer.
So she sort of toddles off.
Use it like a feather duster.
Good. Now, while she's gone, rob the place.
Just confuse the motive.
That's not bad.
This crime is completely undiscernible.
17 on my perception to find anything useful.
Anything useful? In the
Find a dead guy.
in the room,
No.
there's a dead guy.
No.
There's a desk. There is the chair that he is sitting in.
Anything in the desk. In the drawers. Are there drawers?
There are
Search
drawers.
the dead guy's drawers.
I hope there's something in his
You know,
drawer.
in
his
one
pants.
drawer, there's a magnifying glass.
Ooh.
There are some pens.
I like pens.
Some extra. Well, they're quill pens, but extra bottles of ink, blotting
He drinks them.
stuff,
Don't judge
basic like writing desk.
Comes back,
Fair.
he's dyed himself all black.
In the other desk, there is a stash of hard candy that you're assuming,
Is now mine.
he's not supposed to have it, but
There's a stash of hard candy that is now mine.
yes.
That's how that went.
Yep.
So you found a bag of Jolly Ranchers.
Watermelon.
What
the
about-
only good flavor, Jolly Rancher.
On
Gross. You're insane.
On him.
If you say sour apple, I will punch you in the mouth.
12.
Sour apple.
What?
It's the worst goddamn flavor
No,
ever.
it's
No, it's the-
wonderful.
I will-
Watermelon is the worst flavor of anything ever.
Yeah, we've definitely
Father, how dare you?
we've definitely gotten off topic, I think.
Right?
So
I mean, this is fucking Werther's, not Jolly Ranchers.
Also,
no, I literally said they were Jolly Ranchers, but
God damn it.
I mean they can
Why
be
is some
Werther's.
Werther's original?
Because he's old.
He's not that old. He's like mid-50s.
that's
That's
old.
Werther's.
Old.
That's Werther's
That's
worthy.
that's Werther's worthy. Okay, fine. They're
I-
Werther's.
I indulge Werther's all the time, and I'm not even 50.
Right?
So you have a bag of Werther's original, or the
Ye old time equivalent.
the Wensleydale equivalent of same.
You have
You were searching
butterscotch.
the body for
12.
12.
Keep looking for some reason.
You find some used Kleenex in one of his pockets.
You.
You find some spectacles in the front pocket of his frock coat.
Don't need that.
You find some wrappers in his pants pocket from the hard candy that he's not supposed to have.
Wallet.
You find a pocket watch.
I have a pocket watch.
You have a pocket watch. It seems to be a really nice pocket watch. Like gold plating on the you don't know if it's gold plating or if it's actually gold on the watch back. And it's got some very, very tiny gems in place of the the hour points on it. Yeah, it seems to be a very, very nice pocket watch.
I'll give it a listen to.
Tick 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 tick. Might be a little fast.
Boom!
It explodes
You know
directly
that
next
watch
to
you're
your
holding?
ear.
Roll me, we'll see.
No, it does not explode.
It's a sentient
Oh.
watch. It tries to take over your soul.
And now for the rest of the papers on the desk for 13.
Um,
God damn it.
most of the rest of the papers on the desk are of the same sort of variety as the ones that you have looked at before. You do find in a sort of separate pile what appears to be the equivalent of like a bank statement for his personal account. And are you scrutinizing this?
Yes.
I'm still yelling at the top of my lungs, Trunk's name.
Okay. I will get to you in a second.
Bunch of fucking horses.
Gust of air down your
I got
throat.
no horses.
Well, then hold them.
Actually, I'm gonna get to him in a
I
second.
got no horses.
It's because you weren't holding them.
You forgot to hold them and they ran away.
There's no horses in this house to hold.
You don't know that. You've only seen the
big-
basement.
I do know that. From what I've seen of the house, there's no stable indoors.
You haven't seen very much of the house. There was no stable
But,
outdoors either.
But based solely on the amount of the house I've seen, which is like 1/8 the house, I clearly can determine that there's no stables in the house.
Also, these are human. You know.
There's that.
Anyway.
Bedrooms.
So
There were even horses in the fucking barn where
you
there
will
should have
see from this guy's bank statement that he's well off, but
He
maybe
was.
not quite as well off as you would expect from someone who lives in such a over the top grandiose house.
The human stuff was
Do we notice any large deposits or withdrawals?
Forge your
no.
will.
On the contrary, you actually are noticing that
She
he
used
gets
the
very regular, somewhat modest deposits in his account. You would assume that that's probably his paycheck, or the equivalent of.
In other words, that's what he steals from the peasant folk.
Okay, we're going to leave you there while you're snooping for a little while. Bellhead, you are on the front porch, and the crowd is sort of murmuring now. They've calmed down after the initial excitement has worn off a little bit, and they're now just sort of murmuring about wondering how this one was murdered, and now there are only 2 left, and maybe Carruthers is next, and what's going to happen to the town without the council. And Sheriff Crayless approaches with Lamar looking very like he wants to be important.
Question. Is there a rocking chair on the porch?
Yes.
I'm in it.
The
With
other...
my hammer just draped across the arms in front of me. And I am rocking back and forth.
Are you chatting with the butlers?
No,
No,
not
just
really.
sort of
I'm just
watching. you're
eyeballing
just
the
people
crowd.
watching. Okay,
If the
so-
butlers want to talk to me, they're welcome to.
Well, they're still standing in the doorway, also watching the crowd, but now they're having a much easier time of this task than they had earlier. So you see the sheriff is approaching. He has Lamar with him, who's looking fairly satisfied with himself. If you would like to roll an insight check on Lamar.
So what we were giggling about is you said the other person's name, the other council member's name was Carruthers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe think of the South Park episode making fun of Sally Carruthers.
Sally Struthers,
Struthers?
you mean?
Sure that.
Nailed it. 14.
A 14 on an insight check. So,
Should be better, isn't.
so
What are you doing?
being able to
Don't worry about it.
very
Yours
clearly
next.
see how much the people in this town are enjoying a scandal and like some excitement in their lives to the point that it's nearly obscene, you will presume that the reason he looked so self-satisfied was that he was the one who, like, he played an important role in this happening, in that he was the one to go and find the sheriff.
Well, like any good serial killer, he wants to be caught.
Yeah.
So he's obviously the guilty party.
Yes.
Clearly.
He's also the
Look
first
at all of this panic that I wrought through my actions. Yeah. Yeah, he's a
The guy
glory
who came down
hound.
The stairs is the guy.
Then the problem solved. And we'll hang that guy too.
I find this exciting.
Well,
Wait
he's
till the
pretty
orc
banging
pack
out.
rolls through here.
I'll give that 3 sections for that.
Benjamin goes, excuse me?
Oh, nothing. Sheriff!
He was clearly breaking and entering. I mean,
Hello.
the key didn't work.
What are you doing here?
Well, we thought we might assist you proactively. There seemed to be quite a crowd, so I handled it.
Much obliged. I'm certainly spread a little thin of late. Where are your compatriots?
Well, funny you should mention that. I did have old Snake Arms and Jazz Gruely were up here, and then he went that way, and now come to think of it, I think they both went around the back.
Okay, what...
I think the butler let the other guy in.
I don't think he's ever actually seen you, has he?
No.
Okay, so he's only asking about those two.
But I still say, I think the butler let the other guy in.
He doesn't think anything of it because his mind is swimming. Well, I don't reckon they can get into too much trouble around the back. You better show me to the body. So, Benjamin opens the door.
Mind if I tag along? I do have some expertise in injuries and the like.
I think that Councilman Amherst might be a little past the point of aid, Father, but...
I understand you. I don't mean healing him, necessarily. I mean being able to divine the source of any injuries.
Fair enough. Come along, if for no other reason than to find out what happened to the rest of your group.
Can the sheriff hear me yelling Trunk saying?
Okay, so, coming back to you guys now. Mm-hmm. Are you just standing in
I'm just
the laundry room?
No, I keep walking through what I assume is like the open areas, the common areas to move to the other parts of the house.
Okay.
And I just keep fucking yelling Trunk. Not any other word, just the word trunk at the top of my lungs.
So, you walk through the laundry area. You have arrived in a pantry.
This looks like a pantry. Trunk!
I don't know where I am!
Oh, would you look at that? Fruity Pebbles. Trunk!
Cruising through the
Country? You eat a lot of peaches.
That's moving to the country.
Shut
not
up!
Cruising through the country.
Close enough.
Out.
This DM is just crushing balls tonight, man. I'm telling you.
Seriously.
The only woman here. I gotta do something. So you move through the pantry.
Well, it's not crushing balls, I'll tell you that right now.
And you arrive in a
You're
kitchen.
gonna have a bad night.
Relief soon.
You arrive in a kitchen. There is a fire going over by, something that appears to be sort of a primitive stove. There's
I'm sniffing.
something cooking,
Question.
some sort of meat.
Is the fire in the stove?
Sure.
This is important. Because if the fire is just going on near the stove, we might have a problem.
No, the fire is going on in the stove, and there's some sort of meat cooking. You can smell it.
I keep just walking past, looking about, and just keep yelling Trunk.
So after you yell trunk from inside the kitchen, you hear, hello? Coming from, the next room.
I assume we're not in there yet.
No, you're not there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that I know that that's not Trunk's voice.
It's definitely not trunk.
So I go, "You're not Trunk." Trunk!
I don't know who Trunk is, but you see this very slight, very young, probably 15 tops, blonde-headed girl in a maid's uniform. She's got a feather duster in one hand and a short sword in the other.
Too old.
A short sword of dwarven manufacturing.
Yeah, it's very obviously a dwarven short sword. You may have seen Trunk wielding it.
Well, hey.
Oh, more dwarves.
Hello to you, my dear. And where did you get that sword?
The other one with the eye patch. He gave it to me to protect myself. She gives it sort of a...
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh!
I totally see why he gave you a sword. Take it from her. Without her here. But,
Who are you talking to? I'm still back with the
Yeah.
dog.
no, that was internal monologue.
Still back.
So
He just turns to his left and goes, take it from her.
And now she's like she's a little
So
bit worried now.
I slowly creep forward. I'm like, if you could just hand me that.
Don't put your hand in it while she's waving it
I know.
around.
Dave.
Don't wave it around while somebody's hand is already out.
No, that's
Right,
not how
no.
that works.
That's not
You
how
weren't
that-
even there.
That wasn't how
Yes,
that
I
works.
was.
That's not how that works.
Big dink.
So I reach over and I convince her to give it to me. And if she puts up any like resistance to that, I give her a knowing look that that's probably a really fucking poor idea.
She doesn't put up any resistance, but she does definitely look sort of sad
Oh.
when it's gone.
Well,
now she's got her feather duster and
That's okay.
it's just not the same.
I take the sword from her and I reach back behind me and I give her one of the javelins that I took.
Ooh. So she's got the thing and she's, just
Now you
walking
have
around with it
A
now.
longer, pointy object.
Absolutely, but it's not. The javelins are a dime a dozen. They're not worth
It's only pointy on one end.
what the sword's worth. So I
How long are your javelins, out of curiosity?
I think the standard javelin's like what, 4 feet long, 4 or 5 feet long. They're a thing.
So for us, they're probably like,
a
probably
little bit shorter.
yeah.
So she's got the thing and she's holding it like mid-staff. So she's got like 2.5 feet in front and 2.5 feet in back. And
So
she's
she turns
just-
sideways, trying to walk through that door.
She's
and they have it.
basically like walk jousting at this point. 'Cause
All right. And I tell her to keep her distance from me and
Does she present like that?
lead me to where the other dwarf, and his name's Trunk, by the way. Take me to Trunk, please.
Okay. So she leads the way.
The whole time I'm like this, watching her walk in front of me. Because I am a terrible, terrible dwarf.
I
Who's
hate
got
to
a
say
taste
it
for the
like you,
humans.
Well, this one's maybe a little young even for you.
It's hard to gauge the ages of people who live, 70 years tops.
All I know is she looks fun to me. That's all I know.
Hey, she had my sword, so dibs.
I'm sorry. You didn't actually call dibs this time.
Neither did he.
That's true.
I don't-
He just did, just now.
I never have to call dibs. It just works out for my advantage. Luck of the draw.
Says the guy
I guess.
who was a virgin the day before yesterday.
Oh, was that in character?
Wasn't
I mean,
it?
because he's not there. How could he possibly fucking say that in character?
No, I didn't say that in character.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in the game, I, for all I know, she's Sasha's cousin. Which now I'm wondering how much that would cost me.
How much gold do you have? Never mind.
Oh, corner.
So
Because she's got the.
he's just got this too.
Turns
So
into a Three Stooges gag.
So she leads you. Once you sort of exit the kitchen, there's like a double hung door that flaps in both directions, and you are now.
I stop and just push it and see what it does. Like,
It comes back and
what the
nearly hits
shit
you.
is
And
this?
yeah.
this is curious. Like, I grab it and I try to hold it in place and I let go and it starts to move again. And I pull on it enough that it, like, dislodges from the mechanism. This is a swing arm. And it stops trying to swing. I'm like, alright, I fixed your door. And then just keep walking.
What use is a door that won't... It doesn't really keep anything out.
So now the door is irreparably broken.
Door number 2.
So when you
Favorite
exit,
enemy. Doors.
Human doors.
when you exit the kitchen area, you come into what you would presume to be like the main part of the house. The quality of the decor has just skyrocketed. The chairs around the massive dining table, it's probably 15 feet long and 4.5 feet wide. There are chairs evenly spaced, one on each end, and then like 6 on each side. They are like red velvet tufted. They look like they would actually be rather comfortable. They have horned or clawed feet, and it's all very grand, and the table runner is embroidered with silk thread, and it's very, very fancy looking.
As I walk by, I push one of the chair backs forward towards the table, and I push it too hard, and it hits the table and makes clanging noise. And as I'm walking behind her, I ask, "Do you humans not make anything out of stone, like reasonable people, or?"
The hearths are made out of stone.
Right, but what about your beds? Tell me your beds are made of stone, though, right?
No. No.
Such a weird lot. I shake my head and we continue.
So, you walk through the dining room, out the other side, and you find yourself in a very large, foyer area. To your, as you're coming through, on your right, there is a humongous staircase going up. And then directly across from you is a sort of open archway with just books upon books upon books on the other side. And then there's a hallway down to the right, which is where she leads you.
I immediately just start yelling trunk again.
Now,
even though she's taking me directly to trunk.
As you are coming through the foyer, the door opens behind you.
Like it's to arms,
Not-
I'm reaching for my axe.
Yeah,
turn.
it's once you have
You got
made
my
the
sword in
turn.
hand.
Yeah.
You know, I drop your sword.
You did not. You never said that.
I'm reaching for my axe. That's a two-handed weapon.
Oh, you dropped it just now, you mean?
Yeah, to reach for
Okay.
the axe.
Okay.
I'm not proficient with your shit sword. I want my fucking
Now
axe.
you're gonna have to look after that edge.
You're really not proficient with a short sword?
I probably
You
am.
probably are.
I'm just being a dick because I can.
Fair enough, I
She
guess.
just let Whatterface hold on to it.
She's got the javelin.
She could have had the
She's
sword.
she's
Yes,
super.
She's gonna get the D.
D8 on the ground. Your D8 is
Yeah.
on.
I know.
He's
Stop
punishing
it.
it.
No.
He's punishing it.
It's he hasn't even rolled it yet.
That's why he's punishing it. It's been a bad D8.
You haven't heard of those?
What?
It's a floor D8.
Floor D8?
Never heard of
Is
those?
that somebody from Florida?
No.
I only do floor D4s.
So anywho,
They're called
So-
caltrops.
As
through.
you come through, you hang a right to go down the hallway. The door opens behind you. You see, coming through the door, Belhad and Sheriff Crayless.
I relax and go, "Oh, it's you guys." And I reach down and pick up your sword.
Grogneck, what are you doing?
I'm still waiting by the dying
Just
guy.
sitting on the guy.
Not moving.
He's breathing, but his breathing is getting a little bit more shallowed and labored, and breaths are becoming
I'm gonna yell for Beldhead. Only I'm gonna
sort
yell,
of few
"Hey,
and
old
far
guy,
between.
Come here."
Literally be anyone in the house.
That'll work. Any old person will work.
Yeah, any old person who's not a cleric. would
Is
be
that
super helpful.
hearable from the ground floor?
You can't hear that from where you are. No. Unless he has thaumaturgy, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't. You're not hearing that.
Where, there you are.
Yes. Here I am.
Sheriff, there he is.
Yes.
Where's...
Oh yes. This young lady was ma'am, miss,
Yes.
stop walking, please.
She's got her
Because
javelin.
I just assumed she just kept
No,
walking.
she stopped when
okay.
and she saw you go for your axe, so she takes her javelin and she's holding it like this.
So it's like 3.5 feet way
Yeah,
out
no,
past everybody.
she's got it by the very end, and she's holding it right here, so it's sticking out 4 or
Super
5 feet
dangerous.
in front of her. Yeah, it really is. But she doesn't know what she's doing. She's not been trained.
And it's hanging like Rick Grimes trying to hold his
She's got it like this,
revolver. 'cause
right
it's
in front of her
terrible.
sternum, so that it.
Coral?
Coral!
Get in the fucking house, Coral.
Oh.
Damn it, Coral.
So,
Oh.
she's standing there with you,
Yes.
and
I tell Belhad and the sheriff, she was taking me to Trunk's apparently somewhere else, and Father, Grogneck kind of incapacitated, whatever the word is. He hurt a human guy down there, in the cellar. We came in the back door. It was a cellar thing, and we came in. There was a guy. He was trying to run. We think he might be the assailant and or suspect. Sheriff guy. And he's incapacitated.
Sheriff, I think this probably requires both of our attention.
That could be true.
But
Knowing how Grognak hits people, I probably should make some speed.
Yes. And I will follow this young lady and I will find Trunk.
Okay. So
I look at her and go, "You may go, dear." And I tap her on the butt.
She says, "Well, don't I need to show them the way to the cellar?"
No. I'm sure they'll find their way.
I'll just follow the screams.
Eventually.
I just keep tapping her lightly on the butt to get her to go.
So,
I'll defer to you, Sheriff. Layouts of these houses,
the
probably.
girl looks at the sheriff and she says, "Straight on, back through the dining room, through the kitchen,
As she says
through
that,
the
just
pantry,
keep
and then into the laundry room."
like she's being distracted. Like, what is this dwarf touching me for? Just keep touching her ass.
So she leads you the rest of the way down the hallway, past a closed door on the left, and then another door on the left, and you see Trunk and a dead guy at a desk.
Delightful. I yell, "Hey, Trunk! I've been hollering for you."
So,
I throw your sword at you. No.
God damn.
what is the fastest that you can go?
Well, it has my walk down here as 10 feet, but that's bullshit because it's giving me penalties that dwarves don't take from armor.
Right.
So I bumped it back up to the 25 it's supposed to be.
Okay, now is any of that based, like the detriment to it, based on your age? Because I'm pretty sure that Jazz can only go 20 feet.
I'm only 20 feet.
Really?
You shouldn't be 25 at all. At
I'm
best, you should
25.
be 30. And I'm encumbered medium encumbrance.
Oh, I'm not in
Okay, well, all right, whatever, 20.
Okay.
Either way,
So
it's more than
you're having to hustle to keep up with Crayless. He's like,
I mean, I can do it at a run if I have to.
yeah, he's like one skip away from jogging. He's walking so fast. He's very, he's leaned forward and he's very briskly pumping his
Now,
arms.
Sheriff, you won't be able to talk to him until I bring him back to life.
Come on, Father. If this guy is involved in any way, we gotta get to him.
He's not going anywhere.
From the description, I think he's probably pretty stationary.
So, you go through the dining hall, past the really big fancy dining table with all of its tufted red velvet chairs.
Which one?
You go one slightly askew. You'll notice that all of the chairs are very perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
Painstakingly perfectly aligned, except for one.
I stop, and I fix the chair. Jeez, we can't get good help today. I'll be right there.
So, you go through the dining room, you go through the kitchen, you go through the pantry, you end up in the laundry room. And in the laundry room, you see another door. It is slightly ajar, and Grognak is calling your name, leaning his head out the door.
Kinda.
And he's calling some equivalent of your name.
Old guy.
Also that.
I suppose they're down here then.
You might want to fix the guy. Also, his leg. It's a little crooked.
Oh.
Yeah, so you find on a landing, next to some stairs heading down, a human person who doesn't look to be terribly old, like 19, 20 years old. He's wearing basically the same sort of clothing that you've seen practically everybody else in this town wearing, which is nothing special.
So not too far from dying of old age. Then.
He's laying...
People's ages.
He's laying sort of on his face. One of his legs is bent at a really unnatural angle between the knee and the ankle.
Yeah.
And from your experience with being a healer, he is not long for this world.
He's in the Grognak position.
Yes! I have my own position!
So I will hustle right down there.
Okay.
And
Does
I
the ladder know
will
that position.
cure wounds.
So, while you're
I will cure wounds on him
bonk,
for 5+ spellcasting ability modifier.
So a 29.
42.
Oh, which is wisdom. 5 plus 10. 10.
Okay.
Well, that's
So
2 more hit points than he had.
that was 2 more hit points than he actually lost. Suddenly he sits up and goes, well, hello.
And
Don't
then
make me do it again.
I
And then he
set
sees-
his leg.
And then he's, oh God. He sort of looks up at you and says, well, hello. And then he looks at you and goes, ugh.
Don't make me do it
And then he
again.
looks at the sheriff and goes, and then you set his leg and he goes, ah!
Jesus.
Now that, you guys heard.
I was just going to say,
Sorry for that, but it's better to do it fast and while the healing is still
miss
buzzing
out all
around
the
your
birds.
system.
So,
and I keep looking at you and then
don't
looking
set
at the
your
maid.
character
Like,
sheet on top of the microphone.
Sorry.
So, Sheriff looks at you and says, so, what happened here? The young man has passed out
She looks
from
at
the
me like,
pain
"You
of having
stop."
his leg reset.
look at
But
you.
he
You're doing
looks
that.
fine. Everything is totally fine. He is just taking a little rest.
Well, I came in that back door, and he looked like he was trying to get away, so I tackled him.
I was hoping to get that in while there was still a little healing numminess.
No, he definitely wasn't numb. Trying to escape, you say?
All the doors were ajar, so we came through them. And he looked like he was trying to get away.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah, and also his key doesn't fit that door, so... Oh. Also, there's no door there anymore.
No, the door's still there. It's just not really functional at this point.
It's no longer a door to
Sort
me.
of hanging off of just the bottom hinge. The whole, lock mechanism is bent slightly, and then the door jamb on the outer part of the door leading into the laundry room has just splintered.
Yeah, it's no longer a door to me.
Forced entry.
So, did he do this?
The door, well, he kind of fell there.
The door, was this like this when you found it?
Don't look at me. I'm not there. I'm upstairs trying to convince him that I'm going to bang the maid.
It always seems truthful when you take at least 10 seconds to answer a simple question.
You're like, so
No.
was this like this when you found this guy? And you're like, well,
Not exactly.
He clearly
Sure
fell down
was.
the stairs on his own.
Parts?
I mean, all the pieces were here.
In a different configuration?
what it
Ish.
currently is.
I mean, if you're going to try and tell him that it wasn't you guys that did that, you're going to have to roll me a deception check at disadvantage.
No, I'm
I've got an answer for you, and it's a great answer.
I'm
It's
just
got
being-
all the best
I'm being
answers.
very
All the
vague
best
about
stuff,
it.
so.
The good
Thank
answers.
you, Donald Trump.
The good answers. The great answers.
So,
The
I'm being
best
very-
answers.
Let me
You're
tell
being
you
very
the answers I've given
cagey.
before.
and he doesn't know what.
non-specific
Only
about
those.
it.
Okay. So, you're being non-specific, but you're not actually saying anything.
Exactly.
He's what? And then he just walks away.
I just look at the door and I go, Jazz.
Also, yes.
This has Jazz's name all over it.
Damn it!
Or, well, Jazz's foot.
Yes. Jazz's footprint.
There's specifically a dwarven-sized footprint on the door.
So,
It's got those little pyramidal-headed hobnails that dwarven boots have on the bottom that make getting kicked in the face with them particularly terrible. Great for traction, though.
Oh yeah.
Just amazing.
Father, how long do you think it'll be before he comes around and is fit for questioning?
Oh, he should be fine pretty soon. You could probably wake him up. I was a little slow on the draw, but it should
That's
be.
alright, as long as he's not in any threat of expiring. would you, mind keeping him in custody for a little while I go check out the crime scene?
Why not?
If he wakes up, just don't let him run away. But you don't
I don't think
necessarily...
he can run faster than me, so...
You don't necessarily need to break both of his legs.
I've got some rope. You want rope?
I'm good. I don't need the
You don't
rope.
have to stay here either. If you can manage to get him, carry him or whatever, you can bring him on in, and we can keep track of him while I'm investigating.
You don't have to stay here, so you can get the fuck out.
Well, it's like you're in the servants area of the house, and you're standing next to a really
Clearly
sort of
serving.
precarious stairwell leading down into a...
I'm sure I can drag him, and I'll just grab an armored dragon.
Okay. So you're dragging
Awesome,
him.
yes, because I'm not picking him
And then
up.
he's gotta go up a half flight of
Just
stairs.
get
And knock him out again.
No, they're out of the cellar.
Sort of a strange.
He was on the top landing. Easy does it there, killer.
Sort of a strange, cheerful reaction just before he passed out, though. Huh.
So, you drag him by his arm through the laundry room, the pantry, the kitchen, the dining room with its huge, fancy dining room table, and finally out into the main foyer. And
I'm going to use his body to disalign all the chairs in a row.
Fantastic.
Just going to drag him through the line of chairs.
His shoulder just catches all the
at
chips.
this point, he does wake up with the jarring of the chairs just punching him in the shoulders. He tries to look up behind him to see who's dragging him. Where are we going?
Punch him right in the mouth.
You know, my initial thought was to hit him in the head.
You probably killed him this time, though.
Painesville. Population U.
So, you,
It's an unhappy census.
those of you who are going, Bellhead in particular, you start hearing the sounds of Jez Gruely and Trunk speaking. Presumably you follow those sounds, and the sheriff is, coming with
You hear me specifically telling Trunk
the dead body
that-
about your
no,
trip to the whorehouse.
No, I am specifically telling Trunk in Dwarvish how I plan on banging this maid.
Who's standing right there?
It's in Dwarvish.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, in
They're
Dwarvish,
discussing
okay.
in Dwarvish.
I missed
And
that
also,
part.
the sheriff can't hear me either. I mean, he can hear me, he just can't understand. Or so we hope.
She
Trunk has
is...
that
Gonna
usual
have to do
sort of.
She is not in the room.
Damn it.
Yes. Gonna have to
She's
get
not
that boy
in
on the
the
right
room.
kind of woman.
By the way, because
Currently, I'm on the only kind of woman at the moment.
the sight of her dead master upsets her. So she's out in the hallway with your javelin like a pike, and she's guarding the door. So
She thinks we're doing real business or something in there. The whole time I'm talking about how squishy her ass
As
is.
we're approaching and I'm listening to this in Dwarvish, I will go. They should be right up here, Sheriff!
Oh.
It's just a little louder than is strictly necessary. And then when I get abreast to the maid standing here like this, I go, oh, permission to pass?
do you say it all jokingly like that?
Yeah.
She looks like she's on the verge of tears. She's like, sure, I mean, okay. She just looks at the sheriff, and the sheriff, yeah, okay. And then she
These
realizes,
fucking dwarves, they're all over the place.
she realizes that Grognek is dragging somebody. And she gets a good look at the face, who is now awake, and he's looking over. And she goes, "Oh!"
Oh god, it's the council member's son. Fuck.
Well,
Wham!
He says,
Don't try to run away from me next time!
Beatrice! And I've forgotten his Christopher! What are you doing here? Well, I was coming to see you.
Shut down.
Love triangle.
I thought that,
Dwarven cockblock.
Love or lust?
I thought that we...
Me?
It's a lust rhombus.
Parallel.
Parabola mystery.
Whatever. I'll challenge him to a duel and I'll murder him.
Oh dear.
So,
She can bear my
He-
unholy half-breeds.
he is, clearly, if this is a romantic situation, he is clearly robbing the cradle. But like I said, he's only about 19 anyway, but she's like 15. But
You're right.
she,
She's well fit, yeah?
yeah, I mean, she...
I mean, it's still half plus 7.
She's one of those 15-year-olds that the Disney Channel would hire.
Yes! I am definitely challenging him to unarmed combat.
All right.
I might take you up on this.
That's
So-
fine. I'll marry Sasha. I'm one of those guys. I'd marry a hooker.
So,
So as soon as we hear Belhad, I stop ransacking and resume investigating.
well, you probably stopped ransacking when Beatrice showed
that.
back up.
You're trying to shake the books to see if anything important falls out. Me and her walk in and you're like,
Read this.
Wow. What an interesting topic.
So,
And the book's upside down.
written in a language that can only be read from the opposite direction.
So when Beatrice shrieks the name Christopher, the sheriff sort of gives him looks at him with renewed interest.
Oh, he's awake.
He says,
He's been awake since the dining room.
"You're the
That's a bit of information I could have used 3 rooms ago.
He says, Christopher, you're the baker's son, right? Yes, Sheriff, that's me. Would you care to tell me what you were doing here? Well, I came to see Miss Beatrice. We had an agreement, and you can see, those of you who are still in the hallway can see Beatrice's eyes get a little wide. Like, are you really about to say what you're about to say? And he says, she was...
I literally poke my head out the door and go, agreement, you say? And I look at him.
Do you still have a hold of his arm?
Yes, he
I'm
does.
not letting him go.
So
Totally
he's
does.
still sitting on the ground with his arm twisted up behind him, and he's looking this way.
Well, one second, Sheriff. Zone of truth.
Why you gotta do that with me in here?
Just don't talk.
Don't open your yap.
Shut your face. You'll be fine.
Go on, sorry. It's a tick.
We had an agreement that she was gonna leave the door at the top of the stairs unlocked so that I could get in.
And do what?
Uh,
Because all you're seeing is like this part of jazz. Because I'm not coming out the door. I'm just going to stand there and interject.
She is like aghast that he's saying this, and he says, "Well, we were going to meet behind the wash tub, and
For supper?
And wash.
well, there's no barn on this property, you see, so it's kind of hard to have a roll in the hay when there's no hay to roll in, so we figured fresh towels were about as good as it could get." And she is 30 shades of red on her face, and she's just got her hands up to her mouth and is just horrified.
I got my
That-
Belhad is lawful good giggling in the corner.
You
So I,
hussy.
I got my head out the door, and I see him, and I was asking him the questions, and she's over here, and I'm all like,
It's looking him up and down.
really?
And she's just like,
All you see is my arm go out, grab the javelin, and take the javelin back.
the hand comes with you until it gets to the end, and then she just sort of lets it go because... Oh, that's right, she had something in her hand, so she only had one hand up over her face.
Is this,
She's ruined this. I take back that property.
does this check out, lass?
She starts to open her mouth, and she says, yes, that is true.
It's a delightful little trick, isn't it?
I don't know what happened just now. I wanted to say something different than what I said. What I meant to say was I'm a virgin. Wait. Christopher!
Oh, it's
Jazz
all
pokes
right.
his head back out.
It's all right. People
Jazz
find it,
gives her the fucking javelin back.
people find it difficult to
Wait, virgin.
muddy their statements around me. It's just one of those faces, I guess.
So when you say that, she takes a good look at your face and then just unloads. I left the door unlocked so that he could come in and we could have a rendezvous on the towels because it's laundry day and I have to be the one to fold the towels. The master always liked them in a very certain way, so it was going to be my turn to fold the towels and we were going to meet behind the wash tub so that Winifred wouldn't see us, and it was Winifred's day off, or it was supposed to be, and then she just goes on. Just a non-stop word vomit. From which you gather they were supposed to have a tryst. She did leave the door unlocked.
Right.
But someone must have locked it.
Well, I don't know that the door was any otherwise.
Yeah.
Let me pause you there, dearie. You said it was supposed to be Winifred's day off,
Yes.
but she was not off?
Well, I saw her earlier this morning, but I don't know where she went after that. Presumably she went into town to do her shopping.
I give a significant look to the sheriff.
The sheriff is reeling from the just tidal wave of information that has just spewed forth from this girl.
By the way,
What
Sheriff.
are you rolling, by the way? Are you just rolling for fun?
Just rolling.
Okay.
So I
By
wanna
the way,
roll a
Sheriff,
thing,
you
but I
wouldn't
wanna make
happen
sure I get
to
the right dice.
know who killed all of these council members, would you?
I wish I did.
Perfect opportunity, by the way.
Don't forget, I'm on the town council, too.
Speaking of, Sheriff, how scared are you that you might be next?
Honestly, I'm a little puckered at the moment.
Hey,
Understandable.
it'd be a job for what's his name?
What's his name?
What's his nuts? You know, the guy that wanted to start the Fighters Guild. Protect him.
Algernon Jones.
Yeah, that guy.
IV.
Yeah, but we needed what's his cousin, right? They're cousins.
Brody.
He can still get paid to protect the guy.
That's true.
Well, the sheriff doesn't much care for the guy, but it's
He
true.
doesn't need to talk. He's paid
Good.
to be.
Good punching.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a meathead.
You hire a meathead to
You
be
hire a meathead to be
You
a bad guy, that's
typecast
the thing.
because we typecast. That's what we do.
So,
How long does Zone of Truth last, by the way?
Zone of Truth,
Ironically, exactly as long as
10
we do.
minutes.
10 minutes, Christ.
It's a 60-foot range. So I could cast it 60 feet away. I definitely didn't. And it has a 15-foot radius. There is a will save involved, but
She didn't.
make it.
Yeah. What is the DC for the will
The DC
save?
for the will save is 15.
Just for sake, I'll roll one for each of them. Neither of them make it. I'll roll one for the sheriff.
Will.
He didn't make it.
I don't have
I
a
also
will.
know the results
Well, it's not sleep.
of the creatures
Screen
making or missing the saves.
Well, I made it, so I can speak a
Grognak
lie.
made it.
So I know that Grognak is not subject to it.
None of the humans made
Made
it.
it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
my
that was an actual roll. That is to search the body one more time while they're all distracted out in the hallway.
The 7 that you had there? That was the same thing you rolled
No,
with the left?
that's...
Oh, that.
Damn it! I turned the wrong die.
Yup.
So it's a 16
22
plus
total.
22 total. In an inner pocket, you find some money. Not a lot of money.
Money's not going to help.
It's like 7 gold
Is it?
worth of money.
I mean, I'll take it, but it's not going to help.
This isn't useful.
Well, I mean, personally, yeah, but as far as the investigation goes, no.
You find a receipt.
A receipt.
A receipt.
A receipt.
A receipt.
What is the receipt for?
It is for the...
Jesus Christ, Jeff.
What's the name of the place?
It's off, yeah,
Almost
it's off
died for
the...
the third time. The
It's off the
Gotta
net.
so it's
stop
catching
doing
him.
that. Can you stop? The whole thing is going to
Oh,
come
God.
down in a second.
Oh, God.
Also, do not step on my
Everything
nut
is
slot.
awful.
Everything is awful!
It's all terrible. We're all gonna die.
Okay. It is a receipt from the clothier in town for a waistcoat. Rather, repairs to a waistcoat, I should say. And it's, got an estimate, like a pickup ticket with an estimate on how long it would take. That sort of thing.
I don't see how that's going to help.
I hope we were.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Just any kind of clues as to why he was murdered? Who murdered him?
You don't find anything like that.
Awesome.
I hope you were planning on cleaning those towels again.
Well, I could claim his vest later for myself. Look,
I'm pretty sure that Marjorie Drake will know that you're not Councilman Amherst.
look, I've got the ticket. I'm picking it up.
No
ticky,
ticky,
no
no
shirty.
shirty. I don't know that it would fit you.
You can take it to a tailor.
It's like a frock coat.
I mean, I'll be at a tailor anyways.
There's a Ifrit tailor that comes through
It's rather effeminate.
every once in a while.
I'd like to take this opportunity to say hello to anyone who might be listening. Anyone at all.
Rob. Frickin' Peckham.
No, Peckham doesn't listen. He told me that he stopped
What a
listening
jerk.
like halfway through the first
First
session.
one. Yeah.
What an asshole.
Like,
Also,
you
like to
lazy
take
son of a bitch.
An
Rob would be
opportunity
listening,
to
but apparently
give
the
credit
link
to
is
all
not
of our
enough.
artists who helped with our character portraits, even though we don't know who some of them are.
Yes, or really like any of them. Anyway, so, Trunk, you found those things that I mentioned
Those things.
that I think I clapped and then we did it, so I'm going to have to do some real fancy editing on that. So now everybody is in the same place. I'm so happy. Splitting the party, you bunch of jerks.
Constantly.
I had nothing to do with that.
I know you didn't.
It's their fault.
That was my
So,
intentional.
No.
everyone
Your
is
fault.
together. Christopher is awake. Zone of Truth is happening.
Well, I hope that you intended to clean those towels again.
Oh, well, certainly.
But you may not, sometimes things can get messy. That's something you may not know. Anyway, that's fine.
I poke my head back out the
When
door
you
frame
say messy, she gets a little, concerned. She clearly has no idea what's going on.
and I poke my head out just as she's giving the concerned look, and I go, "Yeah, it does." And then just fucking fade back into the door.
God
I
damn
go,
it.
and it only hurts for, the first
Everyone hears a loud thud from
bit,
inside the room.
and,
It's
and
just,
then
it's Trunk's
it's,
just head desk.
it's not as painful.
She
And then you hear
blanches
again.
a little bit at this.
And then you hear again, "Yeah,
I'm
it does."
made to feel
Blood
a
stuff.
little uncomfortable. by the situation. And I keep saying things that I don't intend to say out loud.
All right, well, let's go find that maid that
Honesty
wasn't
is
supposed to be
good
at
for
work
the
today.
soul.
Sure.
Anyway, Sheriff, I think, Christopher. Did you kill the councilman?
No! I hadn't even made it into the house.
Very good.
The door was locked.
I think maybe this might be a dead end, Sheriff. Unless you have,
Unless you killed the council.
we already did that. Unless you have any statutes you think apply to this situation.
You hear from in the room, breaking and entering.
It's not breaking and entering if they left the door open for him.
Illegal entry.
Honestly, I think
Trespassing!
Although, on that note, there is the matter of that door, although, since the councilman is dead, I don't reckon anybody's gonna worry about that too much.
Police emergency.
I'll speak to Jonas. He can probably fix it.
I'm sure that he could. I just left him. He's working on getting his shop straightened out the way he likes it, having agreed to terms with Jones.
I'm glad that that's working out. I bet he's grinning like an idiot.
That's a fair assessment. To be honest, I'm a little surprised at Jones, who he let the shop go without any actual money trading hands yet. Of course, Jonas, he kind of hard up for funds at present, but Jones thinks that he'll, take off and be an overnight success and be able to pay him the money for the shop within the week.
Well, I'm glad that it doesn't seem like there's any lingering disagreements there. And on the front of Algernon, maybe a personal guard. I know you don't like the guy, but
I'll think about it. Anyway, enough of this chit-chat. There's a dead body in here. What are we thinking?
Trunk hides under the desk.
well, I'm sure he doesn't mind.
So, do you actually hide under the desk?
Yes.
Stealth check. At a disadvantage.
What? You hit your head on the way under
Oh,
the
my
desk.
disadvantage.
Who
Because you would have to move the dead body to
There's
get...
a 3.
So,
who found the councilman? Does anybody here? Did you?
according to Lamar, it was found by Benjamin.
Speaking of Lamar, did he follow you in?
No, he's got no business in here. We left him outside with a rabble.
Be that as it may, perhaps Bellhat should speak with him before he leaves the premises.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind speaking with him right here
As
if
well as-
someone could.
As well as the butlers.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
So you release Christopher's arm.
Yeah, I guess.
He
No, just keep him up the entire
he rotates it a little bit. Man. And he finally goes to stand up, and he's now standing very close to Beatrice.
I walk over and just stare at him really awkwardly close and tell him, sit back down
He looks around for a chair.
on the ground.
He looks sad. And then sits down, and he's sitting cross-legged, and he's got his elbows on his knees and his chin on his fists, and he's just sort of looking around.
So,
Pouty humans.
what,
Beatrice comes and tucks
Tries
his head
to-
under her skirt.
Tries to look under her skirt, exactly.
what were your, further intentions regarding, our lovely maid here?
Lovely indeed.
He looks up at her with pure adoration in his face. I love her. and I would ask her to marry me. I don't have a ring or anything yet, and she just goes, ah! She's freaking out.
Young love, you know, I am a cleric.
I give you the stink eye.
Suck it.
I say nothing. I just give you.
I like you, boy. You got pluck.
So he goes to try and stand up again, gives Jez Gruely a look to see if he'll let him.
I do nothing.
He takes her hands in his and say, "Oh, darling, I was going to get a proper ring and do it properly, but I find that I can't stop myself from saying how deeply I love you."
Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah,
I love you.
And so she's gone completely mute at this point. She's just so overcome with emotion and excitement that
Isn't communication wonderful?
I immediately give out the most obnoxious and just walk away. Like, just wander away. I am truly disgusted at what I just seen.
Crisis averted.
So,
Pretty much, yeah.
you have gone to fetch Lamar. He's standing in the crowd near the front,
People ruining my damn day.
talking to people about
How much does he weigh?
not much. He's
I'm gonna grab him and just pick him up and sprint
he's a
back.
spindly little SOB.
Speaking of.
So you just
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab him and...
fireman carry and
Yeah.
No, by the throat.
No.
no, come on.
Not yet.
Do you pick up the butlers? And by pick up, I don't necessarily mean also carry.
No, he walks with it. Hey, how you two doing? Follow me.
I got something for you to keep tidy. Because I'm a dirty dwarf. What the fuck is going on?
This took a turn.
What the hell's wrong with you?
What?
No, turns of
It
happened.
was the thing to say.
No.
What did you say?
You don't want to know.
You can
Was
review it
writing
later.
and I missed it. All right. So you just pick the guy up. He's like mid-sentence,
Yeah, I don't care.
and then you carry him back through the door. The elder butler opens the door and lets you right through, and then they both sort of resume their posts. So you bring him in, and what do you do with him?
I'm gonna set him right next to him. Right next to Bellhouse.
Just gonna drop him on the floor?
Yeah,
or
just-
He gets a
yeah.
will save when he enters the zone.
But he gets it in a negative because he gets dropped on the floor by Grog.
He's not making it anyway.
What's doing?
He's not making it.
What was your name, boy?
Lamar.
Oh, Lamar. Yes, you ran into the tavern, right? And was looking for the sheriff. Is that correct?
I ran all through the town looking for the sheriff.
So, you didn't kill the councilman, did you?
Of course not.
Very
I'm
good.
just the gardener.
Oh, the councilman's gardener.
Aye.
Ah, very good. So did you discover, his current state?
I did not.
Who, do you know who did? Where'd you get your information from, so to speak?
From Benjamin,
Benjamin. And Benjamin is...
the younger of the two butlers.
Butlers, right.
The son of the elder one. He's...
Yes,
Now I'm gonna go
I've
grab that guy.
met them down there. I think that'll do. If you could send them up here on your way out, that would be great. With some dispatch. Thank you for your time.
I warn the father that I will take over their guard duties at the door so that they can come up here.
Good point.
Seems legit. Okay, hold on. Let me keep track of who I'm naming here.
You get a will save as you pass through the zone.
I was already in it.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Too bad.
I could do more funner things for you in bed than he ever could. As I walk by. And
I'm gonna have to turn you down on that.
I'm talking about the girl, man.
Some Sometimes we learn things in the Zone of Truth we didn't want to know.
It reminds me of that scene in Bad Boys 2, where Will Smith's looking at the young kid at the door. He's acting like he just got into prison. He's like, "You ever made love to a man? You want to?"
Okay,
That,
so
that clip with John Cena. You know what I do with assholes? I lick them.
It's awful. Ah!
So, Jazz Gruely, you go out to the front porch and tell Benjamin and his father.
I tell Benjamin and Franklin they need to go inside.
Wait, really?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say. God damn it.
No, it's Benjamin and Benjamin.
I did. I'm just not a. Damn you!
Coke out the nose! I
Jesus.
can't give you another inspiration dice, you still have the first one.
We were supposed to upgrade him. That's what we were supposed to do.
No, that's not how that works.
All
The
right.
white ones have a specific purpose.
You fucking dick.
So, the two butlers come in.
Hey!
Hold on.
Hello. Welcome to our zone of
Okay,
honesty.
Justice!
Justice.
one of them made it.
Damn it, I was going to say ethnic
All right.
cleansing.
I would know.
You would know which one?
Yes,
Okay.
That's part
Hold
of
on.
the thing.
we're going to review this. You know whether each creature in the area succeeds or fails. So,
Okay.
yes, very specifically.
You know that the elder of the two succeeded on his will save. He is unaffected.
All right. So, thank you for coming up. Benjamin, is it?
Aye.
Did you kill the councilman?
No.
Did your father kill the councilman?
I love how you play.
He looks at his father. Not that I know of.
Thank you.
The older butler looks horrified that you even asked that, and even more horrified that you didn't ask him.
I am sorry. I didn't get your name, sir.
Henry.
Henry. Henry, did you kill the councilman?
Of course not.
All right.
The master was good to us.
Just routine, you know. Do you have any ideas, any of you, who might have killed the councilman? Any weird visitors?
Well,
Besides us.
Besides any door.
besides him.
I'm outside.
you specifically.
So you're pointing at the wall, but
They both
besides
just
him.
look at Grogneck.
I'll point it. Besides him. Or Christopher here.
Oi, hi Chris. Hey Ben. Henry does not greet Christopher. He gives him a very dirty look. Very dirty look.
What's with the dirty look?
Was it a dirty look like Jazz would give?
Yeah,
or-
let me get a
Or is
insight
it the
on
kind
his.
of dirty look that
I'm gonna
Trump gives to his
I'm gonna
party members?
insight his dirty look. 15 plus 7.
As the senior staff member in the house, Henry looks after all of his underlings. Beatrice has not been working here for very long. You don't know the specifics behind her story, but you know that he looks upon her like she were his own daughter or granddaughter or niece. He's very protective of her. And he does not like the overtures that Christopher has been making.
Oh, that's very good. I've
No.
already.
sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
This is
You're outside.
Henry would be he's the older one, so
Yeah.
he was the one I actually gave the coin to.
Yes.
Little does he know that I've been eye-banging his wannabe daughter this whole shindig.
Yeah, he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
It's probably
probably
like,
a good thing.
for the better.
No, don't worry about Christopher. He's a good lad. We've gotten to the bottom of his motivations.
I dare say you have. Sorry, that's the wrong accent. I dare say you have.
This is where you should remind him that he actually hurt him pretty badly. Inflicted plenty of wounds on him.
We bounced the poor lad across the staircase, and then, well...
I didn't do that. I just tackled him. And then broke his leg.
And also, he looks perfectly fine now.
He's better, yeah.
He's-
It's all in high,
Better than good is new.
Well,
Feel
any, but also the question I asked about them noticing anybody snooping about.
No, I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. I mean, there was the bodyguard that Mr. Amherst had hired some while back after the first couple of murders. But
Wait, where's the bodyguard?
Not doing his fucking job. The
No.
guy's dead.
Where is and who is this bodyguard?
Sven, he, well, we probably should have mentioned it earlier, but we found him here in the hallway, his head bashed in. He's, upstairs resting.
Oh, so he's still with us.
Oh, certainly.
Well, yes, you should have mentioned that earlier. Have to, go take a look.
No. I'll bring him here.
I'm not entirely sure it's best to move a man who's suffered head trauma until I've seen to him.
He'll be alright.
Tells you the truth, but it's all delusional. Because he's been...
He passed.
What?
Grognak.
And Grogneck's
No,
also a
the
pathological
Sven
liar.
that he drags down here.
I'm not a pathological
No,
liar.
I didn't say Matt. I said Grogneck. Clearly a pathological liar. Very manipulative.
No, he's not a pathological liar.
He's a genuine
Well, thank you
sociopath.
for your...
Maybe.
Thank you for your cooperation, and of course, I mean nothing by any of these questions. It's simply due diligence.
So, at this point, the sheriff is, like, he's, like, looking over the body, but he's sort of stopped looking at the body and is now just looking at you.
Because all I do is
Because
ask
you're-
them flat out if they've killed the person, and then they say no, and I'm like, oh, well, that's true.
So,
Totally believe you.
he says, I'm not,
This is the dwarven style of investigation.
because no one would dare tell me the not truth. I'm not quite familiar with your style of investigating, Father. I gotta say, it would save a lot of legwork if that sort of thing worked for me.
Well, I do have my methods more than be praised. Just 1 second, and I'll go into it a little bit. Thank you, gentlemen. You may resume your post downstairs. I'm sure that'll be very good.
Outside, you mean?
Yes.
It's not downstairs.
Oh, I thought they were.
Yeah, we thought they were separate levels.
Yeah, we thought we were on the same.
Nope.
Okay.
You were on the main floor of the house.
The
You guys
main
came
floor.
up from the cellar, but that's the only...
And,
There's a staircase next to you that is leading up into the upper levels of the house where you would presume the bedrooms are.
Oh, so
But
that's
you're
where-
on the main floor.
And send,
You've gone around the staircase.
if everything is perfectly calm and stuff when you get back down there, send Jazz up here, would you? Thank you.
Again, same level. The front porch is
Down here.
right out
Over
there.
here. Send him where we are.
Over there.
He's old.
So
Over
confused.
Those porch stairs felt like a lot more stairs.
There were 4.
Yeah, it's...
4 stairs.
3 too many.
Now I'm gonna have to
5
start
too
getting into, like, architectural style drawing because I have a very vivid image of this guy's house in my head that I want.
When they leave, and I'm presuming they are going to leave.
Oh, yes. They'll go back outside
Um,
and patrol, well, sort of keep eyes on the rabble.
Sheriff, I can be completely honest, or I can be completely confident that all of the people that I have questioned have answered my questions honestly, with the exception of Henry. Not to say that he was lying, but I cannot be confident that he wasn't.
I must confess I am confused.
Well, Moradin does grant me certain abilities to ensure that if those around me choose to answer my questions, that they have to do so truthfully, at least from a basis of what they believe to be the truth. Now, I suppose any of them could be some sort of crazed, twisted, psychopathic killers that believe something that didn't happen with their own hands, but they would show signs of that in other activities. They'd hardly be a functioning member of society.
Okay. Grogneck, are you going in search of Sven?
Is a
Yes.
crazed psychopathic killer.
I will find him eventually.
Okay. So Benjamin mentioned that he was upstairs resting. So you presumably are going up the grand staircase here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go open every single door until I find him.
Okay. There aren't any on the left because it's just sort of a, I don't want to say balcony because that's not the right word, but it's just like the landing is huge and it's looking out over the hallway that they're in.
Yep. Open every
So on
door.
this
Like
side-
Sven? No. Okay.
You open the first door and it is a like huge, just ridiculously, stupidly huge bedroom. The bed is like 10 feet by 10 feet square. It's got like velvet drapery hanging around
Not
it.
carryable. Okay.
Not carryable. It is also uninhabited. No one present.
Lacks handles.
Next door, slightly smaller, slightly less grand, but still kind of over the top.
Does it have a person in it?
No.
Then I don't
Wow,
need to
we
carry
got
that one either.
Batting 1,000.
Yep. That one you'll notice is a little bit more feminine, but also a little dustier. Moving right along. Third door, linen closet. It's not actually a bedroom. It's just a linen closet. The fourth door, which is actually like when you go up the stairs, there's door 1, door 2, door 3, door 4 is on the opposite wall. When you open that door, you find a hallway. Very narrow, uninteresting, unornamented hallway leading back into the staff's quarters. There are seven doors, 3 on this side, 4 on this side. And as you're opening doors, all of the rooms are identical. Everything is white. The bed sheets are white. The beds are very small. In the third door on the left, so the very last door on that side, there's a person in a bed. He's asleep.
I'm gonna go wake him up.
He is not happy.
I don't care.
Shouldn't be
Is this
asleep.
Sven?
You're not supposed to go to sleep with a head injury.
Do you ask him if he's...
Yes. Are you Sven?
I think so. He sort of clutches the back of his head.
Alright, well come with me, we'll get that fixed. You can
with
you can do it
me.
willingly or you can do it unwillingly. It's up to you.
Oh, God almighty. So he...
It's graded on a scale of additional injury.
So he stands up.
I know where to hit you where it already hurts.
Very, very wobbly. And so he starts making his sort of weaving way.
Okay, you're not moving fast enough.
So you...
Yep, it's now unwilling.
Oh boy. He...
Roll me a projectile vomit check.
Right. He starts to go as the world starts spinning and he gets very nauseated.
Yeah, happens.
You run faster to try to make sure that if he does puke,
It leaves a trail,
it
does
doesn't
not
come
puke.
anywhere near you.
like a vomit comet. Just,
He does not puke.
Look at the tail on that bitch.
So
Look at that.
That's
Right on
tail.
that.
You must work out.
you take him downstairs, presumably, and rejoin with the rest of the group.
Or do you?
No,
What
I'm
do you-
only going to take him through the roof and
What do you do with him once you get there?
No, I'm not gonna just throw him. That would
Launch
be
him.
bad. No projectile humans.
Throw him at the sheriff.
Here! We found a witness.
Check out my
I'll kind of nicely set him down, ish.
Okay. So
And
you
tell Bellhead he may want to take care of that.
you set him down,
Just hit him in the head with your hammer.
and he
Fixes
is
everything.
Bellhead. He is very pale, like to the point where you can't tell if he's about to pass out or throw up or have a seizure. You don't know what's going on, but he is looking super pale and unwell.
You see, now this is why I said you shouldn't move them. I'm going to do a really quick, I guess, medicine check
Well, I tried to let
on the
him
back
do
of his
himself.
head to see if I can glean anything from the wound before I wind up, like, fixing it. 14 plus 7.
Blunt force trauma to the back of the head, slightly on the left-hand side.
Okay. Do I get a quick sense of the shape of the wound and everything?
It's really hard to tell with his hair there, like what shape it is. It's just a really good knot.
I can
Get rid of that hair
fix
for you.
that. Yeah, I could fix that. All right. So I'm going to do a thing. Going to cast Cure Wounds. Charge up my hammer, and I'm going to cast that into him, and I'm going to look around where he was hit in his head for the sort of, I'm going to let you tell me if this is overreaching, for the sort of glowing, healing force of Moradin's will to sort of trace out the wound as it fixes it.
His hair off.
That's a little bit... If there was a break in the skin, I could maybe see that happening.
Alright.
But it's just a big, like, welt. So it's not... The glowing is not going to be coming through his skin.
Alright, so 8 plus 5. I rolled max healing on that.
He immediately starts to look way better than he did a minute ago. You are fairly certain that he had a rather severe concussion. And also, like, if you were kind of feeling around, it was, back of the head, left-hand side, but just above, like, the brainstem area, where, just instant lights out.
That's a very near escape. You definitely shouldn't have moved this man. But I think you'll be
well, he
fine
shouldn't have been
now.
asleep.
Sven, was it?
Aye.
Did you kill the councilman?
Oh, hold on, we gotta... Just...
Seriously, though, he shouldn't have been asleep. If he wouldn't have been asleep, I might have let him move himself.
No, I didn't kill the councilman. Your zone of truth is truthing.
Just routine. Didn't mean anything by it. Should be feeling better now, yes?
Much, thank you.
Do you know anything about the attack?
Before he died, at least I assume it was before he died. I don't know exactly what time he died, but I was out here in the hall reading. He didn't like me hovering over his shoulder while he was doing his paperwork.
I understand. So you were in the hall, and then you were struck. Yes.
Yes.
And you did not see the assailant at all.
I didn't know anything.
For which direction did they come? Where was your behind oriented?
I was facing the front door.
So they'd come in, presumably the back way, yes? Is that
That must be the way.
interesting? And, we didn't hear any noises from... Was the room, the councilman's room, behind you, or would that be in your line of sight?
I was sitting here, and he shows you. So he's got his back going down the rest of the hallway toward the back of the house. The door to the study is right here. in front of him on his right-hand side, and in front of him is the front door to the house.
So he had
So
total
he
view
did
of the
have
councilman's
view
room.
Of the councilman's
And you didn't hear any sounds or anything from the councilman's chambers that were abnormal.
He shakes his head no.
Okay.
Sorry, audio people.
Yes. Very good. So, I suppose your contract here is ended.
It would seem that way.
You might want to check with the other councilman. Probably good to get more protection. Maybe two of you facing opposite directions in future. Thank you for your time. You may want a little bit of rest, but you should be feeling better. Did you see anybody around that was particularly strange before? You know, if you think back, like, oh yeah, that guy was poking around, or anybody who was mad at the councilman.
Not anyone around here that I can think of.
All right. You can, whatever.
I'm going back to bed.
So,
And he makes a very slow,
Where is this,
agonizing way up the stairs.
the woman that was supposed to be off today that wasn't?
Winifred?
Yeah.
that's just what I was going to ask you about. Because I'm assuming at this point, Jas really is returned.
Yes, because Henry and Benjamin have gone back to their post on the front porch.
I was going to ask the same
I
question.
think I probably tapped this thing out for duration. But we're going to have to track this lady down.
Well, yeah, she's the only person of the staff that hasn't been questioned. And then I will ask also the sheriff directly if he has any knowledge of the councilman having any family members that would live in this dwelling as well.
You were asking the sheriff, you said?
Well, yeah, because I figured he'd be more knowledgeable, and none of the staff are standing there.
Well, his wife passed away some years back. He didn't have any living children, at least any legitimate ones that anyone would know about.
You're sure she's dead?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It was a terrible business. She,
Oh, no, go ahead. I just was going to ask. Unusual? Natural?
Oh, it was natural. She was pregnant with their first child, and things went poorly for both of them, I'm afraid.
That's always a shame.
So, was that all that you were asking was about family in the
Well,
area?
yeah, I was just trying to discern if it was just the staff and the councilman in the house.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yes.
So then the last person to be interviewed at this point or interrogated is...
Winifred.
Yeah. Sure.
The sheriff says, my understanding from Lamar was that today was Winifred's day off. She had left early this morning, come back home to collect a forgotten item, and then departed again to go and do her shopping and visit with her sister.
A little late.
What are you up to?
Nothing.
Very late.
I already have that.
What's going on?
I
I'm just
say,
checking some things.
where does she live? Does she live here in the home, Winifred?
All of the servants are live-in.
I suggest we check her living quarters.
Seems fair.
And I'm assuming the young gal, the other
Beatrice.
maid, she's staying there still, yes?
Yeah, she and Christopher are making moon eyes at one another a little bit further down the hall.
Stop it!
So I walk between them, put my arm right in front of his line of sight on the wall, and I ask her directly where.
In order for you to do that, you're like this. He's significantly taller than you are.
So I push down the crook of his knee.
I can cut him down to size for you.
Rude.
No, I don't.
Again.
Anyhow,
People are so rude.
I know what I want. What can I say? I'm aggressive. So anyhow,
What? You can't stop assaulting the boy.
I'm not assaulting anyone yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
you were doing a thing.
Yes, I asked her where Winifred's quarters would be.
Winifred, she's up the stairs toward the back in the servants' quarters. She's the second room on the right.
Delightful. Who knows the way?
I've been there.
Grognak does.
Beautiful. Show me.
I think I even
Trunk.
opened that door once.
What are you up to? You're just standing around staring at the dead body?
Search the ledge.
I kept him out of that room for 8 hours. Well, 10 minutes.
I've searched what I could search.
All right.
So,
Search the hallway.
putting you on pause for a moment, Jazz. So, Trunk, the sheriff looks at you and says, well,
Who the fuck are you?
he like, oh, that's right, you're under the desk.
Oh yeah.
But
well,
he
under the desk.
he knows you're under the desk.
Right.
So he comes around the back of the thing and he looks down and he goes, I don't think we've had the pleasure.
Well, I don't find anything down there.
No, you definitely don't with a nat one. I don't think we've had the pleasure, but I'm assuming you're with those others. In future, I think I would thank you to maybe not move the body around before I've had a chance to look at it.
I've had the chance to look at it.
Oh. Well, what'd you find?
Nothing significant. It was poison.
Well, that seems fairly obvious.
This is an acidic poison.
That seems like the same stuff that was used on...
I will cut your hands off.
I need a name.
Stop it.
Collingway.
Trunk
you
bumps
cut my
his head
hands
on the
off,
desk
My
in
gun.
an effort to get out
That's
from
not
under it.
cutting, that's shooting.
Cusses and dwarf loudly and frequently before crawling out and then standing up.
Sheriff, if I may make a suggestion, don't go dumping all of that tea out in case. I'd like to take a look at it tomorrow.
Well, Bellhead, as you can see from these papers, it is rather acidic.
Yeah, there's probably some tea in the cup, though.
It may not last the night.
There's not really any tea in the cup because he knocked it over and it is shaped in such a way that all the tea that was inside leaked out onto the papers.
Oh, blast. Well, save one of those papers anyway.
And if we can find out who actually served it to him.
That's
Have you done your...
Well, I'd love to be able to talk to him, but I can't quite remember how to do that.
To raise the dead?
the sheriff gives you a really sort of scared look.
Speak with dead.
Have you done your zone of confounding?
What?
What is this? What is this hand wiggly thing?
That's not how any of this works.
That's the old man shaky syndrome. That's what that is.
I have questioned most of the staff.
Well, call them back. We have more questions.
Do we? We're on an errand.
Well,
at
there's
least-
a couple of them that are still here.
At least one more.
Well, if Grognak is showing Jazz Grewley the way up to Winifred's room, Beatrice is still standing there.
Yeah.
She and Christopher are still making goo-goo eyes
Right.
at one
Well,
another.
we got these two.
Well, we need to find out who served him the tea.
Out of character, obviously.
Duh.
Winifred.
Who's Winifred?
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go search her room.
You
In
are
character.
No,
the
you're
worst
not.
person in the
I
world.
am.
I gotta show you where it
You're
is, which
taking
means
me-
I gotta go through the door first.
No, you can go. That's it, and you don't have to go through.
No, I'm
You're gonna
searching
break
the-
shit.
No, you'll break
Don't
shit. You
seem
broke the
to-
door.
I can't seem to find where my money
I broke the
is,
human, not the door.
but I figure I probably have at least a gold piece left over from when I bought my things, because I don't think I spent down to my last gold piece.
Okay.
I will walk over to Christopher
Mm-hmm.
and slip him a gold piece. You know what it's for.
Is Beatrice still standing there?
I mean, you tell me.
Well, no one had called her away, I don't think. Like, you were calling for people. Did you actually
You're
call
asking
for
me the
people?
question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he called for Beatrice, and she comes and is standing sort of just outside the doorway, trying not to look into the room at the dead body. You slip Christopher a gold piece, and he smiles at you and shakes your hand very, like, enthusiastically, pumping it up and down. And
I don't
thanks
know if
you.
Jonas works in that kind of thing, but go talk to him.
I will.
Tee-hee.
He's giggling about something. I don't trust it.
It's always a bad sign.
Nat 20 for investigation of Winifred's quarters.
Okay.
Hind quarters. I want to know who served the tea. I want to know who made the tea. I want to know where you bought the tea from.
I want to know who
I want to know where it was grown.
I want to know
The
who.
problem is, Trump,
Cooked it.
you served the tea. You bought the tea. You made the tea.
I didn't
It
do
was
it.
all you.
263.
I hate tea.
It was all you.
I'm a dwarf. I don't drink tea.
It was all you.
Well, beer can kind of consider to be
Nope.
a long brewed tea.
No.
Okay, so you rolled a nat 20 investigation check. You open the door. In the room, there is a very sort of Spartan dresser. There is a bed with very crisp, white, sort of low thread count sheets. There is what appears to be a hand-knit blanket, which is one of the only things that adds any sort of color and interest to the otherwise very institutional-looking room.
I flip the bed over and check to make sure there's nothing like underneath the bed or like in between like what would be like box springs, mattresses, all that. I'm checking all of the bed.
Okay,
He's deep searching the bed.
you find under the mattress a envelope with some letters in it.
No wooden phallic symbol.
No.
The face made it worse. Everyone listening missed the face. So you know that husky.
What's wrong with Josh's face?
You know that husky on the internet that tells jokes? The punchline face? What just happened?
It's true. It's a thing.
Yep. So you found an envelope. It's got some letters in it. Handwritten letters.
Is it written in common?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I stick them in my pouch or pocket.
Do you
I have a pocket.
bother to look at them at all?
I will when the time is right.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep searching. I'm
So
gathering at the moment.
You pocket the envelope and all of its contents,
Yes.
and you continue to search.
Yes. And then I move to any other furniture that's like dressers or things of that nature.
In the dresser, you find some, some socks, like thick woolly socks. You find some serious granny panties.
Yeah.
You find quite a few. It's not that they're that
That's a
big.
huge
She's
bitch.
not- And the lady wears big undies. They're not like huge. She's not a huge fat lady. But like they're high waisted enough that they probably come up to like mid rib cage.
That's alright, it can work.
So you find a couple of identical, like, black frock dresses, and some white aprons.
But nothing that sticks out.
No.
Alright. Let me up.
Yeah. Do your roll.
Go.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ah!
Jesus Christ.
Earthquake.
Bull in the china shop.
Okay.
I didn't knock anything over.
No.
So for 17, do I find any false boards like in the floor or in the wall, assuming it's made of wood and all that?
You do not find anything untoward. You don't find... There's a... on top of the, like, the dresser, there's a very sort of plain, like, mirror and some hairpins, things of that nature.
I give it a good feel about to see if there's anything. Like attached to the back
Feel
of
it
it.
out.
Attached to the back of the mirror, you find another envelope that has...
What's this? Another door?
Inside this envelope, there are 2 platinum coins, 3 gold coins, and a sprinkling of copper coins.
He found more gold than I do.
In the envelope?
Not the same envelope
Oh, in a
as
different envelope.
the letters. This one is behind the dresser,
Now,
taped to the back,
out of character.
in a way that, like, they have tape.
Out of character. Now,
Hide glued to the back.
isn't platinum higher than gold?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 10 gold.
How would someone like this come across platinum?
How does someone like you come across platinum?
Have you seen my dick?
No, thankfully.
The horse pay me.
What does
Never.
that even mean? This story keeps changing.
Means that I had my dick coated in platinum.
The first time he told it was like I was in there for like a minute and a half, and now it's
Like
they're bringing in
3.5
platinum
days.
pieces.
Right. That's what makes it feel so fun. So, I put that in my pocket with the other notes. I kind of give the room a once over and I walk out, and then I make my way back to where Velhead and the sheriff are.
Okay.
And I pull out the letters and I hand those to like a half the stack to you, a half the stack to the sheriff. And while they're mulling over those, I pull out the other one and say, I found this taped to the back of the mirror, and it's got platinum and gold and some copper pieces in here. How does someone like this come across platinum pieces? I mean, is that common in Wensleydale, Sheriff?
The sheriff says, well, I mean, we have a bank of sorts, but you can, if you get enough gold pieces, you can trade up to a copper piece.
It
Or a
represents
platinum
a
piece.
fairly high time period for a salary
To have
of this
that.
position, perhaps. I don't know what
At
she's
this-
even supposed to do.
At this
It's like
point,
blood money is what I'm getting at.
she's the upstairs maid.
Oh, yeah.
Upstairs maid.
So she takes care of, like, the bedrooms and stuff like that.
I feel like that knowing glance didn't really
Yeah, that
carry all the
did-
knowing that
did
it
not-
needed to.
did not impart
He
any
knew exactly what I was
additional
talking about.
I don't think you
Especially
watch.
with the gesture.
I don't think you watch as much Downton Abbey as you should.
So-
well, yes, that is absolutely true. First of all,
knowledge.
second of
I
all,
don't
it's a
watch that
shame.
at all.
At this point, Beatrice is sort of like coming over and being nosy about what you're doing, and
I immediately put my hand close to her face as in like the talk to the hand gesture, and I don't even acknowledge her past that.
Yikes!
she
You're dead to me.
Boy, this infatuation, it burns out quick.
You know, unless you flip that skirt, you're done.
Yeah, yep.
So she's now apparently talking to the sheriff because you have tuned her out. Beatrice tells the sheriff that Winifred has worked for the Amherst family since the late Councilman Amherst's father had been around.
So theoretically, she could have put something away for a very long time
You
then.
know, she has been. She told me about it. That is probably her life savings. That's her retirement fund. She wanted to buy her own little cottage.
Well, it does say something that if she skipped town, she didn't take that, so that's a point in her favor, I suppose. She's missing, but didn't.
Or she had so much money that money was.
This was just extra platinum money that no one cares about.
You don't know that she was a secret millionaire.
And you don't know that she was.
Anyway.
So, Bellhead,
these letters.
you're
yes.
looking over letters. You have approximately
I am
2 letters in your hand. The
putting the
sheriff
money in my
has
pocket.
3.
Are they sealed? I mean,
God
No.
damn
the
it.
seal would presumably be broken.
I do some
Um,
honest thieving.
But is there a seal
Like
on
7
them?
gold.
No.
You're just looking around. And
It's
you get
on
Lawful.
cheap
I
paper.
showed it to the sheriff. Evil,
Very,
I put it back in my pocket.
very, very spidery handwriting. And it says, "My dearest love, I while away the hours
Oh,
waiting for your shift to end and for me to be done making dinner so that we can sit by a fire and enjoy one another's company. Yours truly,
What are you doing?
Henry."
Henry, old dog.
I'm looking at your dice.
The other one,
You get a
similar
problem with it?
theme.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
Okay, good. 'Cause I was going to make
Sheriff,
you eat it if you did.
I don't think you
My-
can do that.
Well, you didn't have a
Dulcet
problem with it, so I didn't
darling,
make you eat it,
I
see?
Yeah.
don't.
I don't think these are pertinent to our investigation.
Yes, they are. I mean, now they're
Henry! You old sailor, you.
Henry's outside.
I
So
see.
yeah, this is a collection of
Slut.
love letters that they're not dated, but they're about 5 or 6 different letters, and you can tell that the handwriting, some of them are clearly more recent than others because the handwriting is getting progressively worse as poor Henry's hands get twisted up with arthritis.
Yeah, ink is faded, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's been some sort of carryings on going on between the staff for some while now.
Yikes.
Apparently, the wash basin is the place to be in this house.
Well, they don't have a barn.
So I'm gonna go stand next to the wash basin.
And wait
Someone
for someone
better
to come and
provide
have
something
sex
for
with
me.
me.
Well,
Bellhead is the next one in. Well,
Here's a platinum
Except it
piece.
would be more
Get
like,
the fuck away
well,
from me.
I think I'll just keep these until we can find Winifred.
So
Yes, keep.
the sheriff is,
That'll
still
help with the
looking
nights.
over the body and looking over the paperwork on the desk, and he comes to the same conclusion that Trunk did, that it's just paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork that, this sort of thing would ordinarily have been split among 6 of the 7 council members. The sheriff obviously having his own branch of things to do and not taking so much part in the politicking of being on the council.
I pick up some of these papers and I go, wow, Sheriff, your workload just got a lot heavier.
Not me. As it is, I
Yes,
have to investigate these murders.
Another one of these sheriffs.
Feel pretty bad for Figby Carruthers, though.
Yes, no, yes, you, because you're the only council member left alive, yes?
No, Figby Carruthers is still alive.
Right.
As far as I know.
That's what I
Should
was looking
probably also talk to Figby. Figby?
Figby.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Figby.
It's really hard to come up with names, but making fun of me.
I'm not. That was in character. I'm mocking the humans.
Okay. Figby.
Figsby?
Good old Figleaf and I are going to have a discussion.
Figby.
That's how
Figby
you handle
Carruthers.
Anyone know where Winifred might have gotten off to after she wasn't supposed to be here? Probably Henry, now that I think about it.
Who
Beatrice
also-
says she said she was going to her sister's.
I thought she was going to the store to buy something.
She went and did her shopping, and then was going to her sister's.
The story doesn't check out!
No, it has.
It totally does not.
That has been said several
Yeah.
times.
Did she purchase?
Where's her
keys?
sisters?
No,
What did she get at the store?
Yeah,
she hasn't been back yet.
Where's the sister? Do you know where the sister lives?
Her sister lives down in
Jewelry Lane.
the residential part of town, the Lowlands, as Councilman Amherst often referred to it.
Maybe that's why he's dead.
All right, well,
So-
of that.
gonna have to dig her up. Fisby, around here?
Bigby.
Figby, around here?
Oh yeah. Oh god, all these houses look alike. It's is either that one or that one. I don't remember which.
Well,
So about this time, the door opens and Henry comes in with his arm around a weeping, borderline hysterical older woman. She's got her hair done up in a bun. She's wearing one of those sort of uninteresting, shapeless black frocks of the sort that Jazz Gruely found in the dresser
Found and
upstairs.
briefly tried on. Let's not mince words. We know it happened.
So,
He had him pulled up to his
Henry
He had the
is
granny panties pulled up to his shoulder blades.
Henry is
Would
trying.
you fuck me?
I'd
I'd
fuck
fuck
me.
This has been the most reference-heavy session we've had yet.
Right? So, Henry is, trying to comfort this woman who is just weeping openly. And he says, oh, come now, Winnie. We feared that something like this would happen. I'm still not getting the old man voice properly, but...
no, he was an old man.
Yeah,
Winnie, get her.
Winifred.
Yes.
Yes. So I'd like to talk to you,
Did you do it?
but not necessarily right now.
Okay, I might need some time to compose myself. And she's just sniffling, and then at this point, Beatrice finally manages to tear herself away from Christopher and goes over to offer a hanky to the grieving Winifred.
Understandable. 1 second. Jazz, if you could, hand me that envelope that you had.
Oh, the monies.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Winifred. If you just
Henry comes with.
that'll be fine. We were collecting
Evidence.
evidence. These are yours. You should.
She takes the thing and opens it. Oh! Is everything still in the envelope that was in it when you found
It
it?
is, unfortunately.
Okay.
You suck it.
She's so. This is my life savings.
It's about to be my life earnings.
Right? It's just, I was hoping when I retired, which is apparently going to be sooner than I thought,
Right now.
that I could buy myself a little cottage. I've
Ah,
known him since he was a baby! She starts wailing again.
I throw my head back and just walk away.
I
Where's the stairs to the
beckon
roof?
to Henry.
Henry leans in. You hear his back pop a little bit.
So, Henry, you gonna make an honest woman of her?
She's already an honest woman.
I read the notes as part of the investigation.
You see.
Now, we didn't hand them out or anything.
He's giving you sort of a bemused look. And he looks at Winifred and he says, Winnie, did you keep my love letters? She says, oh, of course I did, you big softy. And she lovingly taps him on the chest.
Because I am a
Up
cleric.
in Dexter.
Just saying.
Henry, light finally dawns in his mind and he starts sort of giggling and he says, oh, Father, no worries there. We've been married for some years now.
Oh, you are adorable.
I'm not even in the room, and I still throw my hands up in the sky. Ugh.
Blah.
I will harshly interrogate Winifred, regardless of her current state.
Where is it? Where's the poison? Where is it? I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Yes, I'll pull the sheriff aside and say, the thing that I did earlier, it's not in effect right now, so I'd like to question them later. We're gonna go with a story about her needing to calm down. Yeah. Also, we should go check on the other councilman. Probably best if you accompanied me, assuming that you can tear yourself away from the investigation, as he doesn't know me from Moradin.
Well, let me get the Undertaker over here to collect the body. He goes over to the front door and opens it, and shouts for Lamar, who is only too happy to comply. He sends him off for the Undertaker.
Also, if we could sort of not do anything to the body from about here up.
The body of the councilman?
Yeah, just this bit. We could leave it kind of good.
He is giving you the most, really horrified look.
Got it. Nice. Okay. Tomorrow I'm gonna want to inspect the deceased again. But just
I don't presume to tell the Undertaker how to do his job.
Well, perhaps you should.
in this case, presume away. I'm serious about.
Why?
Well, because he can't talk to me if he doesn't have the talky bits.
Father, the man is dead. He's not doing too much talking anyway.
These goofy humans! Ah!
They know that dead is only a frame of mind.
It's not always a barrier. But I just can't remember how to do it. Anyway. We can keep him from putrefying anyway. I definitely can do that tomorrow. Also, I'm going to want to see that paper tomorrow. With the spilled bit. Somebody bag that up. Yes, you, Trunk. Great. Trunk, bag that up.
This motherfucker.
Well, the rest of us left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much
Those-
what that came down to.
God damn it.
Now I'm in front of the whole mob of people, just in utter disgust. Constantly.
That's okay. I was thinking about being in front of those.
So
mob
it's
of
my
people
intent
only from,
to
like,
go
second
with the
floor.
sheriff over to Frisbee's.
Figby.
Frisbees?
Fizz Willie?
That's what I...
Mrs. Frizz.
This is all exactly
Frizz's.
what we said.
Father Santa?
Mrs. Frisbee. Mrs. Frisbee. And I want to go over there and I want the sheriff to go with me so that I have proper
Sweet.
introduction.
Okay, so I guess we are wrapping the session there because it's getting super late. Woo!
Anyone not want to do anything else?
Moo!
Sorry, that's all me talking, but I am the face.